to find a friend, one who will stick by to the end. Going out of my mind in the middle, wasting all of my time in the middle. I take a bite and spit it out, unaware of what it's about. I'm not that good at faking it. I feel somehow I've broken it. I don't believe I'm part of it. If I try to climb up the wall, everyone can see when I fall. Nothing really matters at all. Pull me out of this place in the middle. Nothing more to embrace in the middle.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation because it's true crime is for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. Hello, everybody. I apologize about being late. I'm so sorry. It's like I went to go do something that was supposed to take 1 hour. It ended up taking 2 hours, so that was going to put me getting back here right at 12:55, and I go live at 1. So I was like, okay, let me push it back to 1:30. And so I pushed it back to 1:30, and I shit you not, somebody walked in at 1:25, I think it was, and I just had to stop everything and deal with that situation. And so yeah, I'm sorry for rescheduling. Then I had to go pick Mr. Speculating up at 3 because of the snow and ice. He's been getting off early, so it was just crazy. I appreciate you guys all waiting, and it really means the world to me that you guys are here like every day to hang out with me and talk with me about these cases and things. I greatly appreciate it. Like that really means the world to me because you could be anywhere else on these YouTube streets or, just watching regular TV and you're here with me. So thank you for that from the bottom of my heart. Let me say hey to y'all, and then we're going to talk about the drawing. Lorianne, good to see you. Good to see you, Max. I'm glad that you're here. Indy, good to see you. Jenny Jen, A1 from Day One, good to see you. So glad you are here. Shelby, it's good to see you, my love. One sunny day. Cindy from sunny South Florida, good to see you. Southern Cats, Hannah UK, good to see y'all. Thank you for being here. And Anders, good to see you. I'm so glad y'all are here with me today, this evening. Karen, good to see you. I hope that you guys did have a good day, and that you're staying warm. It is Friday. For sure, it's Friday. Thank goodness. Hey, Darzilla, good to see you. Hello, hello. I like your dog. Uh, my friend went to go get a dog. I won't say who, but she's a very close friend of mine. I saw her and the dog earlier, and I thought it was just so sweet. Cutest little puppy. It's a little girl, but the puppy was small, and then it got big. I thought it was just so sweet. She called me and showed me her puppy that she got. Okay, so tomorrow we will be having a drawing. If you have to be a member of the channel. If you are a member of the channel, you are entered to win. There's going to be 3 prizes. Abraham sent me a bunch of jewelry. Actually, this I have on one that I wear a lot. This is one of the bracelets that he made. And there's a bunch more that he has made. So that's going to be in there. He also makes these cards like this that are like really pretty in 3D. And there's a bunch in there that are in envelopes with the envelopes and you write on the inside and stuff. Those will be in the drawing. And then I'm adding stuff. Now, on my end, money is very tight. So I'm trying to get the stuff to make everybody stuff. You know what I mean? So I will show you what I have got done. I've got to go buy stain sometime in the next week or 2, but this will be for whoever wins first prize. It's a box. And I'm going to stain it. That's what the inside looks like. It's just a little box, but it's got the allegedly speculating logo on it that I did by hand. And then this is going to be in the second prize. I got to sand off. There's something right there I got to sand off, but I did do this by hand. I actually just finished this one right before we came live. And I'm going to stain it. And then I have some of these wooden discs like this on the way. So the third prize winner will get one of these with the logo on it. That's like, I use this one as my cup holder. Not cup holder, but my coaster. Now, the wooden coaster, if I try to do my logo, if I try to do this on the wooden coaster, it's too big. It don't look right. So I tried with a different logo, like this one says AS and then it has flowers and it said allegedly speculating. But if you look, I messed up the allegedly on that logo in particular. So I might drop some logos and see what y'all think there. Now you can see it clearly. You can see where it's messed up. So it's going to be like this because I've got some more on the way, but I've got to figure out what logo to use because like that's the problem. Writing and in that small font on this it makes it look bad. So like if I was to do this logo on the small disc, the speculating part right here is what has me concerned. I don't think it would turn out good. I think I would mess it up like I did that. But that's that's what's going to be for me. And then there's some other things that I'm going to make that I have to get. I'm going to make some resin things that I think will be cool for the drawing for whoever wins. So this drawing is going to have more handmade stuff because I can't get my merch right now. And even if I could, it probably wouldn't be here. I don't know, it might be. But anyway, this drawing, the three people who win this drawing will get more personalized things that like I actually did by hand. The next drawings from here on out will probably be like more merch related. But we will be having that drawing tomorrow. Thank you. Scratch Paint, good to see you. Wolfpack, good to see you. I'm so glad you are here. Miss King of Anything, good to see you. Good to see you guys. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. I will ship internationally, and I plan on trying to have everything done by Valentine's Day at the latest, because the only problem is having the funds like to get the resin. I've got to get more resin, and then having the funds to send it out. Cause like I said, money's tight. And then, with the snow and everything, working has become an issue because a lot of people are not able to work and drive in this mess. So Mr. Speculating's hours are shorter. We got bills due, all of the normal things that everybody goes through. I am so blessed to have a house and food and all of the things. I think about people often that are out in this mess, like living in cars or actually homeless. That's a sad situation. Thank God when I had a place to go. When I was out homeless, it was cold, but it wasn't this cold. It wasn't ice and snow. So just keep people that are homeless in your prayers and thoughts and things like that. Indy, thank you so much for the super chat. I don't like to tell y'all about that kind of stuff because I don't want you to feel like I hope I didn't coax you to do that, because that was not my intention at all. Thank you so very much. That helps out so much, and thank you for the heart. I really appreciate that. I don't have PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App, so like I'm good. We're good. We're blessed. I don't do those things because I feel like if you guys want to support, you will, and you do that a lot. And the money that I get through YouTube is the only money that I need. So thank you for that, Indy. And that was so very sweet of you. You're so sweet. You do that all the time. And I really appreciate you so very much. Thank you, sweetheart. Let me get you an amazing, amazing,
Amazing!
amazing. Thank you so much for that. Kim Gettle, it's good to see you. It's snowing pretty good here right now. I might be out of work for a few days myself. Really? I heard that North Carolina is supposed to get a couple more inches. Tammy, good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Scratch to Paint said, my daughter decided to move in car, but she's always welcome here. I'm sorry she's going through that. I will keep her in my prayers because that's hard. And kids want to be out of the house and just don't want to be around parents, especially when they get at that age where they don't have to be anymore. So I completely, I get it. It could be just, her not wanting to be up living with mama and under mama's rules. But I'm sorry that you're going through that and that she's going through that. Stephanie, it's so good to see you. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate you being here. And Cindy from sunny South Florida, thank you so much for gifting 5 Speculation Station memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. My love, you're so sweet. That was so very kind of you. Those went to Betsy Sue, Miss Pumbaa, YouTube Bad Actors, Whit Miller, and Pete. Hold on. Tyson, Petre Tyson, Petrason, Petratyon. I know it says something and I'm misreading it. Anyways, if you guys were gifted from Cindy from sunny South Florida, please tell Miss Cindy thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Cindy, my love. Y'all have to see. I don't know if it's out on a video, but Miss Cindy supported Hio and bought a hoodie with one of her guardians on it. I love Hio's guardians. It's so cute. And she sent a video with her son wearing the guardians, the guardians, the little wizard on it. And it was just the cutest thing. I love that video. I really do. Every time I see you, I think about that. Thank you so much, Miss Cindy, for gifting those memberships. And I will grab the crazy train to pick our new members up on the way to Speculation Station. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
Thank you so much, Miss Cindy. And Lori Ann has been a member for 5 months, said sending love. Thank you so much. And thank you for your continued support. That is amazing. Thank you so much for the continued support, my love.
Amazing!
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Petra Tyson. Petra Tyson. Thank you for that, Shelby. And thank you, Betsy Sue, for saying thank you. So yeah, y'all will be entered to win. Kim Gettle said East Tennessee weather is insane. It's gone from 80 degrees for a week to 8 inches of snow in one night. That is insane. You know, I thought North Carolina was crazy, but then I got out here and it's like because of the mountains and the valleys, it can be like 80 degrees during the day, and then at night it could be like -3. I've never seen any shit like that. Supposedly it's because we live in the mountains, and that's, I guess, the mountains and the valleys have something to do with it, but like I've never seen anything like that. It's so beautiful, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for bipolar weather. Being a bipolar person, I don't know if I can deal with the weather being bipolar as well. That's just too much bipolar for my likings. Thank you, Jenny Jen. It is the Guardians of Firelight. She's going to kick me in my ass because I should have known that. Thank you so much. Sarah said that it will hit freezing here in time for the Super Bowl. Are you going to watch the Super Bowl? I can only listen, but not today, honey. Oh, well, it was good to see you. Thank you for coming in. If you have to go, I don't know if you have to go, but I heard being lured by roadblocks, but I was hoping he didn't jump in the water. What happened? Hold on. Did we find him? Okay. Have you heard about the little boy they thought was lured out by roadblocks? He self-deleted the morning he jumped in the river. Oh my God. His name was Thomas Medlin. Jesus. You know, I thought about that. I didn't think that he'd self-deleted, okay? But I heard an interview with his mama, and I'll see if I can pull it up because I know it's in my previously watched. And his mama was saying that, you know, he plays piano, he speaks Chinese, he speaks Spanish, he speaks English. He straight A student, honor student. And I'm like, man, that is a lot for a child. I'm glad that he was into extracurricular activities and things, but that's a lot for a child, I think, to do all that. If you are like, you know, really into that stuff, that's amazing. Um, I don't know. I mean, I don't know his personal life or anything, and I think it's always great to make sure your children are very well educated. But my concern would be pushing him too much to be basically the most intelligent if that's not the road he wanted to go down, to where he got overly stressed. I would be concerned about overstressing him. Is my mic on? It should be. It's lighting up. Hold on. Let me see what it's using as a mic because sometimes it switches. I turned it off just then. Let me see. Nope, it's using default microphone, Pro Stream. Hold on. Now maybe it's better. Should be better. Thank you for that, Abraham. I appreciate it. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I got to get a salve for my daughter. Let me get you this salve and go tell your dad where it hurts on your neck, and he can check it. Here, this is a girl. Oh, you came down there. Here, I'm over here. This is a pain salve, and if you rub it where it hurts at after your daddy looks at it, it'll help with that pain. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I apologize. Okay, it's clearer. Thank you. I'll grab that interview. Mom said they monitor it monitored him, but he created 5 accounts for their not without their knowledge. I'd heard that. Indie girl, good to see you, love. I don't know if I missed you. My antenna won't pick up the Super Bowl station. Have a better one ordered, but don't know if it'll get her on time. Yeah. Thank you for that, Abraham. I appreciate it. Seahawks for the wonderful. Yeah, that game is got a lot of evil. Let me see if I can pull up that interview. Hold on. I was having music therapy because it's been one of those days. So I know it's in my list. I know y'all can't see it yet. Lord, that was a lot of music therapy that I just scrolled through. Yep. I think this is, yep. Okay, so this is going to be from before they found him. This is where the mom talks about all of the things he was involved in. And that, I mean, like I said, I think it's a wonderful thing for him to be that intelligent. I just would worry about him getting overly stressed. Thought it had like sound wave. It probably did. I think it was hooked up to my earbud, which is under this. So thank you for that. You always help me with that. You're so amazing. You're just so damn helpful. I really appreciate you, Abraham. Edith, good to see you, love. I don't know if I said hey to you. We can only do so much, and even that makes me feel a bit helpless, and my kids are grown. It's hard because even though your kids are grown and move out and do their own thing, that doesn't mean that you love them any less, or you want to tell them and make them understand everything so they don't have to go through the same shit we did, you know? But them listening is a whole nother story. And I don't think when they move out and start their own lives, I don't think that it would make anybody love them any less, even though, you have to kind of love them from afar so they can be their own person and live their own life. Um, it's scary though. It's a scary world out there for sure. All right, this is about Thomas Medlin. This is before we knew what happened, and I'm gonna double check that and just pull that up so we can talk about what they found and what happened. This is very sad and upsetting. This is when he was still missing, and his mother came out and spoke about what he was going through at home and just talking about him and trying to get the information out.
Police are still searching for a New York teenager who's been missing for more than 2 weeks. His parents believe he traveled to New York City to meet someone that he met on the gaming platform Roblox. Officials say 15-year-old Thomas Medlin was last seen at Grand Central Station in Manhattan on January 9th. Thomas's mother, Ava Yan, joins us now. Eva, thank you for coming on to talk about your son. What exactly happened on January 9th, 2 weeks ago?
So
Thank you, Hannah.
January 9th was Friday. In the morning, he told us, "Mom, I will stay in school. Just hang out with friends and the dorm, and please pick me up at 9 p.m." So around 9 p.m., we're sure because we encourage all this social interaction with friends, with kids. He said he never did that before. So at 9 p.m., my husband went to pick him up. And he waited, couldn't find him. So I told him, please reach out to the security. And he left the name with us because in the morning we were asking him, whom you're going to hang out with. And he didn't leave a name. So my husband gave the name to the security. They immediately reach out to the friend, and the friend said, I only went to class with him today. And I did not hang out with him. So all the security.
So basically, the little boy, Thomas, went to a friend's house, and that's what he told his parents. And they went to go pick him up. The dad waited for a long time, couldn't find him. And then they went to the security around wherever it was at. I think this is in New York. And so they talked to the security guard, and they had the security guard locate the house of Thomas's friend. And the friend said, I only saw him at school. He hasn't been here. Yeah, Grand Central was the last place they had him on, and they had him on camera at Grand Central Station. I think he left Manhattan and went to Grand Central Station, or it's the opposite. He left Grand Central Station and went to Manhattan. I'm not positive. See, I thought, yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. I did grab what you had, and we're gonna talk about that too in just a second. Thank you for that.
security from campus got involved looking for Thomas, and I went to all the dorm, couldn't find him. The search went up to 12 o'clock in the morning, and my husband and my friend and I went out to look for him like 1 o'clock in the 12:30.
Yeah.
After that, we reported to Suffolk County Police.
Okay, and you found out that he had, right after school at 3:30, had rushed over to the Stony Brook train station out on Long Island, taken the train into Grand.
Okay, so she said they all look for them. I'm just trying to help in case anybody, it's kind of hard to understand sometimes. Grand Central is in Manhattan. See, look, thank you for that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Thank you for that information. Hey, Crystal, whose birthday's tomorrow, Lorianne? So what she said was that they looked for him until about 12, with the security, a friend, and her. And then her and her husband continued to look for a little bit longer until about 12:30 or 1 o'clock. And then they called the Suffolk County Police. They found out that he had taken a train from Long Island to Grand Central Station.
Central. And I know the week before he had asked you, Mom, will you take me to Times Square? I really want to go to Times Square. Was he having chats with someone on Roblox? I know that surveillance video showed him on the platform in Grand Central. They tracked him, I think, based on his phone over the Brooklyn Bridge. And he was notified. The notification said he was last seen in Brooklyn or last appeared in Brooklyn. Was he chatting with someone on Roblox? Was he going into the city to meet someone that he was in correspondence with on Roblox?
So this photo here is from surveillance footage that picked him up at Grand Central Station. I do believe the photo that you see there, that is the photo that the Suffolk County Police Department put out showing him, and that is from a video or surveillance where they picked him up at the station. That was the last time he was seen. It really is. It really is. My heart goes out to his family.
That was some friend told school. Thomas was talking to him, said, I met somebody through Roblox. I want to.
So Thomas told his friend at school he met somebody through Roblox that he was talking to, and the friend told his parents or a counselor, I suppose, after he went missing, and that's why they thought he met somebody.
Go meet this person. I believe this friend from school told him, said, don't go, it's not that safe. You have to watch out. So we didn't know all this. We found out when has been missing so long. So that was the latest information. What is true?
So he was planning on going to meet him. That's what he told his friend, and they didn't know it at the time until after he had been missing. The friend fessed up basically and said, this is important information that I need to tell somebody.
Bothers me during this time because the time passed by each day, it become unbearable for us. It's when the officer and detectives trying to get information, it take a long time for all the social media to release the information. Even when sometimes when I call, I say I have a missing child. It's a minor.
Did
so
Roblox
police still
release
trying
anything?
to act.
What'd you find out? Did Roblox?
She's saying it takes such a long time for them to release information. It's upsetting, which it is. I mean, if you call a cell phone company or anywhere and you're like, I have a missing child, I need the records. I need to know who they're talking to. It's still like you got to get the police to do it, and the police have to get warrants, and it's a whole bunch of mess. And I wish it wasn't like that. I wish we could call as parents and say, my child is missing, and I need to know the last people they called or who they've talked to. I need everything from their phone, and we could get it. I mean, it should be like that, in my opinion, because I feel like we could find children a lot quicker if we didn't have to go through search warrants and wait, X amount of time to see if they're going to pop back up. And then we need a search warrant to look at the phone and all the things. Amber Alert's supposed to help with some stuff like that, like, if your child's missing, but we need some more things that's like, if you are the owner of the account, you can have access to everything from every phone. That's the way that should be, I think.
Tell you these messages?
I don't. At the last time I spoke to the detective, I believe it just released some of the information, but it's just still working through what else is out there. Couldn't find a lot of information, but still active working with Roblox.
So you have not
Trying to
seen
find
any
more.
messages. Were there messages between your son and whoever you think he was going to meet?
No,
No.
no,
What
not
about
at
what
all.
about the
Because
information?
what
Can't
he
they?
did, yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can't Roblox go into the account, your son's account, and see who he's talking to, and then tell you who he was meeting and find out that person's location?
So here's where she's about to talk about all of the things that he did. Abraham said her parents should make sure they have that Life 360 app for the kids. Yeah, that's a great idea. Putting Life 360 on the phone, that's going to help with that. Great idea, Abraham. Thank you for bringing that up. Misha, is it Misha's birthday tomorrow? Is it Misha's? I've yet to hear anything good about Roblox. Yeah, my kids, they did play it, but they don't anymore. And they play they have a PlayStation that's in the living room where everybody can watch it, and it doesn't hook up to the internet for them to play online. And what they have on it is Rocksmith, because we have several guitars. Mr. Speculating likes to play, and it helps them learn how to play guitar with an actual guitar instead of like Guitar Hero where you just push buttons. Guitar Smith helps you learn how to play like an actual guitar. She'll be 3. We'll tell her I said happy birthday, and that is amazing. Happy birthday, Misha. Early birthday.
Amazing!
Oh, that's so sweet. Yes, Life 360 is awesome. Tell her we wish her many more birthdays.
No, not yet. Because what happened initially when he set up the Roblox, the email would come to my personal email account. In order for him to change it, it would come like 2 codes with me. But secretly, he was able to break that, switch it to different Roblox account. I found out there's like 5 different Roblox account, and he set up his own personal email through the cloud. So this whole thing, was very unclear to me. So it was almost bypassed my email. He was able to, set up different security word. So he was almost left us like under dust.
Yeah.
That was what happened.
Eva, let me share with you what Roblox is saying. They say we share.
So he did have 5 different Roblox accounts. He set a different email up in the cloud so that it bypassed her email, and so she didn't get the security notice that she should have gotten, that he had created accounts, that he's talking to somebody, because Thomas went around that, created several different like alt accounts is what we would call them, and any notifications went to an email address that he had set up. So she was basically shut out of knowing anything, because she's still looking at the default account, which is his original account, and she's not seeing that he's doing anything wrong, because he's bypassed all that, and everything he's doing wrong, all those notifications are going to the email he set up in the cloud to keep his mom from seeing. This is what Roblox said, what she's about to read.
Everyone's hope for Thomas Medlin's safe return, and our thoughts are with him and his family. We conducted a thorough review to support law enforcement's investigation and found no attempts to direct him to an off-platform communication method or sharing of off-platform contact information, including users' names, phone numbers, or other communication methods. We will continue to provide any assistance that we can. So this is a chance. If your son is watching, what is your message?
I just want him to know we love him deeply, and he's not in trouble at all. Whatever he did, we understand. And please, we just want him to tell us he's safe, because thinking about that each day, will he be? Is he safe? It's really put us, and it's like in hell, more than hell. So that's a deep message. We love him so much. We want him even send us a message, whoever this person he's staying with, have a kind heart. Let us parents know, or the family friend know, he's safe. Nobody's going to harm him. That's the big message. Whenever he's ready to come home, let us know when we pick him up. And he's not in trouble at all. We love him more than anything in our life.
I know you say.
That's so sad to hear her. She's describing everything as like just worse than hell, not knowing where he's at, saying you're not in trouble. we'll pick you up. We'll pick you up whenever you're ready to come home. Just let us know. I mean, she says he is our entire life. So it breaks my heart even more to know that what happened. I'm gonna look it up, but do we know for a fact that somebody didn't hurt him and then homicide him? Like they're saying he did it himself?
He's intellectually, he's just brilliant
know.
beyond his age, speaks like a college student, and he's only 15, which is at ninth grade. What can the public know about your son? What is he like?
He has been involved a lot. You know, he's very athletic, very loving person, has a very good heart.
So he's very athletic, very sweet, has a good heart.
Play tennis, play ping pong with me, very good ping pong player. He's a world traveler. We have been taking him to Italy, to Greece.
So, I mean, these parents, like, they're taking him to Italy, they're taking him to Greece. He plays ping pong, he plays tennis. They're taking him all over the world to see all these beautiful places and things, and it's just
to Vancouver, to China, to Japan, to
Vancouver, China, Japan.
Canada, to so many places. He has been traveling almost every year. And also he's a black diamond skier. We bring him to ski every single year.
Wow. He's skiing.
And also we have a cabin in New York. He's a snowmobile rider, a dirt bike rider. He plays piano,
he has he rides snowmobiles, he rides dirt bikes, he plays piano.
Carnegie Hall to play, won the second place internationally.
Wow.
He won second place internationally in either snowmobile or I think it's snowmobile riding. Won something. He won international second place.
He speaks Chinese, speaks Spanish. Chinese taken for more than 10 years.
Yeah. Eva.
He also speaks Chinese and speaks Spanish. So for me, it's like, that's a lot. Now I originally came into this was there too much on him and was he too stressed out? But I'd heard it in passing and I hadn't realized that they talk about traveling all over the world and the fact that he does sports that he likes. I mean, the snowmobile, the dirt bike, and things like that. And he's competing and he's winning second place. So it's like he's given everything, like way more than most kids would ever have. And he still felt so sad. That's what I have teenagers in my house and I try to explain to them. I just was having this conversation the other day. I wish I could make you see that none of this is going to matter down the road. That this is a moment in time and that while you may feel like something happens today, it's the end of the world. I'm like, baby, none of this matters. What down the road? None of these people matter. None of these things matter. It doesn't matter. It's all going to be okay. This is just a moment, and it's their hormones, and then everything, this world that they're living in, and it's just so much for a little mind to try to take in. And I feel so bad for his family. I mean, I'm assuming that we did find out for a fact that he self-deleted. We're going to look into that too just to make sure, but this mother, I mean, I can tell she loves him deeply. His family has the ability and the means to make sure he's completely happy in every aspect, and he still, even coming from all that, felt so sad that he had to do something like that. It's just upsetting. Allegedly, Hannah, they say he jumped off a bridge and self-deleted. I know. I wish I could do like a quarter of what this young man was doing. Granny. Kim Gettle said Strategic did a video on this a few days ago and called this "There's Nobody with the Kid on Camera." It showed the boy go on the bridge and not off. Shit. Okay, so allegedly there's nobody with the child when he's on the camera. He goes onto the bridge and never comes back off. Damn it.
And everybody he crossed in life, Yeah,
You-
loves him.
You have
Everybody
given
loves
him
him
a
so
great
much.
life, and I know he wants to come home. If anyone has any information, please call police to help bring Thomas Medlin back home. He's only 15 years old and has a whole life ahead of him. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll be saying prayers for him.
Thank you so much for putting me on the air. Hopefully
you
he
so
can see
much.
me. I wear blue, favorite color. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Lord have mercy. She even wore blue because that's his favorite color. Good gracious. 15, Indy. 15. God bless it. All right, so let's see what we can find that's present. Yeah, from 2 days ago. I should have known this. Thank you guys for giving me this information. So we got one from ABC New York from 14 hours ago. We'll go ahead and look at that one. It reads disappearance of Long Island teen last seen 2 weeks ago in New York City, not believed to be criminal. The disappearance of a 15-year-old boy from Long Island. Sorry, I wanted to see if that was, I guess that's live. That's on the air now. So the disappearance of a 15-year-old boy from Long Island who had been missing for more than 2 weeks is not believed to be criminal in nature, according to officials. Suffolk County Police said Thomas Medlin left Stony Brook School on Friday, January 9th around 3:30 and got onto a train to New York City. He was last seen at Grand Central Station in Manhattan around 5:30 p.m. the same day, according to police. On Wednesday, police provided an update following an investigation including extensive video canvassing and review of digital evidence. Police determined Medlin's last known location was on the pedestrian walkway on the Manhattan Bridge on January 9th at 7:06 p.m. and the last activity on his cell phone was 3 minutes later at 7:09 p.m. They say a nearby camera captured a splash in the water 1 minute later. Detectives say Medlin was never seen leaving the bridge via path exits. Initially, there had been reports that Medlin was meeting someone he had met on Roblox. However, police said on Wednesday there is, quote, no indication of criminal activity, unquote. Quote, detectives had continuously communicated the department's findings to Medlin's family. The department is continuing to work with its law enforcement partners to bring closure to the family, unquote. Suffolk County Police said in a statement. I wonder what happened at school that day. Hey, Abellis, good to see you. Got to go pick them up. Okay, you be safe out there, love. Well, I mean, I thought about that, right? Because that's where I was going in the beginning. He was doing so much. I mean, piano, Spanish, Chinese, going to Japan, going to Greece, going to Italy, going to China, going to Vancouver. But he's also doing like the dirt bike and the snowmobile, and he's a black diamond skier. I mean, it sounds like there was also things in there that he liked. Like, yes, I want you to be smart. I want you to have the tools that it takes to succeed in life. So I want you to learn, Chinese because it's probably his native language, or what his mother spoke initially. So of course they're going to want him to know that. He knows Spanish because that's how you get a good job, is by speaking English and Spanish in the world today. Um, so he did all that, but he also rode dirt bikes and rode snowmobiles and competed with that. So I mean, it's not like, I don't know. For me to hear that, there's a difference between, he knew Chinese, he knew Spanish, he was a mathematician, going to college at 15 years old, a physiologist, a psychologist, a physiologist, like all of the things that are like just basically school and learning and math, science, reading, languages, strictly that's it. For me, when I heard that he also did the snowmobile and the dirt bikes and the things like that, things that kids like. It sounds like they were like, yes, we need you to be really educated and we need you to study hard, but you can also have fun. and he's seeing the world. I'm wondering if something happened at school that Friday and it just sent him over the edge. And that's just, it breaks my heart for his mom. And I watch a lot of videos of like Mr. Speculating shows me a lot. There's a couple channels we watch together that we like, where it's like people that retire will go to the Philippines and they'll show you like, you know, what it costs to live out there and things like that. And if you look at the culture and stuff, um even the people that are in Asia or the general just different parts of Asia, they'll make live streams of like how they cook and how they eat and life and the villages out there and stuff, and it's a hard life. It's very, sometimes can be, um like you're like, wow, that's amazing how they're, you know, cooking over an open fire every day. And India is the same way. I watch a lot of stuff from India, and so I don't think, I think for them, they come from places like that and they want to make sure that their children have better. And so they push them sometimes. But like even with this situation, it doesn't sound like that's what this was, because he also had fun. Do you get what I'm saying? Is he only a child? I don't know, just hits differently when they're all alone. Yeah, he is only a child. He's still 15. I don't think, because remember at the beginning the parents thought he went home with a friend from school, and he probably said he gave them the name of his friend and the address, so his family thought he was with a friend. I don't think he would have been allowed to just go on the train wherever, you know, to New York City and things like that. Good to see you, Miss King. Cindy said he could have had a burner phone until they find his body. I'm not convinced. True. It is, and that's what I was trying to talk about. You know, it is important in their culture because there's a lot coming from that. And you can find videos of it all over YouTube. True. But having it all still could have someone feeling lost, in my opinion. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They say more money, more problems. He is the only child. I think he is the only child. Oh, is he an only child? I'm sorry. I apologize. Thank you, Abraham, for helping me correct that. Is he an only child? It just hits different when they're all alone. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that could play a role in this too, because he doesn't have any siblings to talk to about it. Only his parents, and if he felt like he couldn't talk to his parents about things, yeah, I could see how things could go the way they did. I would wonder what he spoke to his friends about right before he left. CM Wilkins, good to see you. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you for the corrections, Abraham and Tammy. I'm so sorry I misread that or misunderstood it. I apologize. Sometimes when I blink, like my eye waters and I misread comments. So I do apologize for that. Yeah, if y'all don't mind, twinkle, twinkle to the thumbs up and we'll talk about Daniel Martell. Let me get that video.
Come on, players, stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, Star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle, baby, to the thumbs up if y'all don't mind. All right, I've got 2 screenshots of some things that Hannah sent me on Daniel Martell. So we'll talk about that real quick. Okay. Oh, nope, nope. I need to pull it up this way. Hmm. Okay. Sorry about that. I have to pull it up this way. I don't know which one is first. Okay, so we'll read this first. So this is in reference to Daniel Martell. We talked yesterday about how he got arrested allegedly on Monday at 11:30 for sexual assault and holding somebody against their will. It was an adult victim, and I think they said was female, but we are not positive who the female was. Um, We were trying to see if he was locked up, but when we found that information out yesterday, it had just been released like 11 minutes earlier. So we weren't sure if he was still in being held in jail because when we looked it up, it said that he wasn't in jail, but it just referenced the disappearance of Jack and Lily Sullivan. So we didn't really know if like AI had time to find out or if that information had been put out. And I said, it'll probably be out tomorrow. We'll probably be able to find out more. So Hannah sent me this today while I was having music therapy. I assume, and I missed it. But this reads custody status. He was held for a bail hearing following his arrest. Reports from January 26th indicate he was in jail for allegedly breaching previous bail conditions related to a separate 2021 case. Ongoing investigation. Martell is also the stepfather of Lily and Jack Sullivan, two children who have been missing from Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia since May 2025. While he has faced intense scrutiny and allegations of abuse from the children's mother, those specific allegations have not been proven in court. He has not been charged directly with their disappearance as of this date. It's interesting that reports from January 26th indicate he was in jail for allegedly breaching previous bail conditions. So, what were his previous bail conditions that he breached? I'm wondering, considering, with all due respect, that he abused substances. I'm wondering because a lot of times you'll have to submit to random drug tests. I'm wondering if he failed and they put him back in jail, which would have been good because it would keep him off of the substances. So this might have supposed to have been first, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and read it. It reads as of January 29th, 2026, which was yesterday, Daniel Robert Martell has been arrested and remains in custody. While specifications on a formal bond or bail hearing result from his most recent arrest are still developing, here is the current status of his legal situation. Recent arrest. Daniel Martell, who is 34 years old, was arrested on Monday, January 26th of 2026 in relation to charges involving an adult. Those charges include SE actual assault, forcible confinement, and SE actual interference. We didn't have that interference there. Custody status, he was held for a bail hearing following his arrest. Reports from January 26 indicate he was in jail for allegedly breaching previous bail conditions related to a separate 2021 charge. So he's got three charges: SE actual assault, SE actual interference, and forcible confinement. What is SE actual interference? Let's see. Okay, I looked up what is SE actual interference Canada charge. So, SE actual interference is a serious criminal offense in Canada, defined as any SE actual contact. What? With a person under the age of 16? Oh my God, what the fuck? No, Daniel. No, 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 no. Oh my God. What the hell? Hey, sweet Melissa. Let me continue reading. What the fuck? Again, let me just double check. I don't want to believe this, y'all. Okay, the charges include for Daniel Martell, SC actual assault, forcible confinement, and SC actual interference. And again, in Canada, SC actual interference is a serious criminal offense in Canada, defined as any SC actual contact with a person under the age of 16. Fuck, man. No, not Daniel, man. I really felt for that man. I did. I felt like the children, like they were using drugs and the children disappeared, which is completely their fault. But I had some compassion. I don't think they hurt them children intentionally, except for if you want to talk about the black eyes that Jack had. I just, I don't know. I had a little bit of sympathy for that man in my heart. Fucking shit, Daniel. So, definition and context. Sexual interference is defined under Section 151 of the Canadian Criminal Code. It occurs when an individual, for a sexual purpose, touches directly or indirectly any part of the body of a person under the age of 16. This includes any form of an inappropriate touching, and importantly, consent is irrelevant since minors cannot legally consent to sexual activity. So he also got sexual assault. So I'm thinking that he might have forcibly confined a 16-year-old and had relations. Hey, content angel, good to see you. Yeah. Authorities have been clear that these charges are not connected to the investigation into Jack and Lily. Yes, this is not related to Jack and Lily. He was just arrested on this. Supposedly he's still in jail as of when I had the as of when they when as of yesterday. And I'll pull that back up for you. Hold on just a second. So the penalties for sexual interference vary depending on whether the charge is pursued by indictment or summary conviction. If charged by indictment, the maximum penalty can be up to 14 years with a minimum sentence of 1 year. If charged summarily, the maximum penalty is 2 years less a day with a minimum of 90 days imprisonment. When a person is charged with sexual interference, the accused may receive an appearance notice or be arrested. If arrested, they can be released under certain conditions. The law allows for a publication ban to protect the identity of victims or witnesses, especially if they're minors. While both sexual interference and sexual assault are serious offenses, they differ in legal definitions. Now, keep in mind, he's charged with both of these. Sexual interference specifically involves contact with a minor for sexual purposes, whereas sexual assault can apply to individuals of any age and focuses on non consensual sexual contact. It's treated with the utmost severity. So if we jump back to the y'all, I can't believe this shit. This is insane. If we jump back over here, he's got sexual assault and sexual interference and forcible confinement. The assault is confining someone or doing it against their will. So there's a 16-year-old. I'm wondering if he did it against her will and forcibly confined her. Going back to the arrest, it reads as of January 29th, 2026, Daniel Robert Martell has been arrested and remains in custody. So unless he got out between last night and today, then he's more than likely still in custody. He's out with limitations, and to me, it was Michaela on the charges. Let's see. Let's see what we can find on it. It's making sure to reiterate when I pull this up that it's involving an adult, but that's not what the charge represents. So all of these are from one day ago. This is from the CBC. It might be the one we read yesterday, but I'm not sure. It reads stepfather of missing Nova Scotia children facing charges involving an adult. Daniel Martell, is stepfather of two Nova Scotia children who disappeared nearly 9 months ago, has been charged with sexual assault, and forcible confinement. Nova Scotia RCMP confirmed that Martell was arrested on Monday and is facing 3 charges involving an adult complainant. Martell is due in Pictou Provincial Court on March 2nd. Talks about the disappearance of Jack and Lily. That's it. Um, I'm not seeing anything on his release. Hold on. You said Michelle After Dark? Let me check y'all's comments. Y'all said Michelle After Dark? She has the whole charging document? Really? I bet I could find it. Maybe. I've got 3 places to look at. So we're gonna check these. I'm gonna check these 3 places that I have real quick. I just pulled all of them up, and let me see if I can find it while I'm here with you guys. For my media outlets, latest rounds of removed redactions from January 16th. Okay, so it's not there. All right, let me pull these 2 up, and I'll show you. We'll check it together. Okay. Oh my goodness. As a matter of public interest, this is being shared. Assault as charges involve an adult victim, and there's his arrest, I guess. No, that's why he's holding a missing poster, so that's when he was looking for Jack and Lily. Okay, I'm not seeing it there. Maybe. No, that's Westminster. Um, that's somebody else. Okay, let's go over here. That's what we already knew. I'm not seeing it, so we'll probably go look at that picture of them. All right, so we're going to jump over to Michelle After Dark. Hopefully, she won't get upset about me playing her video. I'm going to try not to play the entire video so I don't get struck, but we will share her link. Yeah, right, Tammy? Like, what the? They're saying that I just watched a video she did on Summer.
Daniel, we need to talk.
You're damn right we do. Let me share her link. This is Michelle After Dark. If you guys have not subscribed to her, please do so. She gets a lot of information. I don't know where she got the documents. I'm going to work on finding them, but looks like it might be Malaya. All right. Let me try to get where she reads the documents.
That were released in August contained a bunch of redactions. A couple of weeks ago, some of those redactions were lifted. I did a video about it at the time. And some of those redactions are related to Daniel's relationship with Lily and Jack's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray.
So that's the problem, right? One sunny day said, what was the date of the charge? Is it something new or just action finally on what Malaya claimed? Well, we questioned that yesterday. Could it be related to Malaya? My issue with that is that the police have known about what happened with Malaya since like a week after the kids disappeared. We just got that information in the public because it was just released to where it was unredacted, right? So it doesn't make sense to me that they would be bringing up charges for what happened to Malaya when they were together just now. What, last Monday, January 26th, I think was the charge date. Yeah, this past Monday. So 4 days ago. It doesn't make sense to me that they would be charging him for something to do with Malaya from 4 days ago when, they have known about that for almost 9 months now. You know what I mean?
And this is one of the redactions that was lifted. When asked if Daniel was physically abusive, Malaya said he would try to block her, hold her down, and once he pushed her. She said he would also take her phone from her when she tried to call her mom, which would sometimes be physical and hurt. Daniel did some short interviews with the news. We know Daniel is...
Okay, so that's information we knew. Let me make sure. This is from 12 hours ago. I don't know if she has them. I think she's just got stuff off the internet.
December 1st, 2024.
So the email presumably was vaguer than the court documents. So 1st of December 2024 is when these assaults allegedly occurred.
Okay, let me back it up.
But interesting words there from Daniel. Daniel's evil. Daniel's a monster. Wow. How much of a monster is he? Is the question. But what has Daniel actually been charged with? All the news channels that have been covering the case and a bunch of creators have all been talking about this overnight my time. But what has Daniel actually been charged with?
Good evening. We learned Daniel Martell, the stepfather of Jack and Lily, the missing Sullivan siblings from Pictou County, faces charges not related to the children. Let's go right to CTV late anchor Bruce Frisco in the news center. Bruce, details pretty sparse, but what do we know?
Well, I'll tell you, Todd, as you say, very few details. We received some basic facts in an email this afternoon from RCMP, and we obtained some court documents about an hour ago. The arrest.
So it was released on the news. I could definitely see the news media having it.
Actually happened at the start of this week. So police arrested 34-year-old Daniel Robert Martell of Lansdowne on Monday, January 26th, around 11:30 in the morning. He is facing 3 charges, serious charges: assault, sexual assault, and forcible confinement. Court documents say the victim was an adult female, and the alleged incidents occurred on Gairloch Road in Lansdowne on December 1st, 2024. That's about 6 months before the children vanished from their home.
So it does have to do with Malaya, but why now? That's weird. Like, because of public pressure? Because the police had that information since right after Jack and Lily went missing. Him and Malaya are no longer together, so why is he being charged with that now? I know, Abellis, that's what I was screaming. Damn it, Daniel. What the fuck? Like, I was kind of rooting for him. Yeah, I'm really confused in this moment as well. Okay, Wolfpack, I'm confused as well.
All of the offences, SA, assault, and confinement, holding someone against their will, I guess that would be, all on the same date to the same person. So the 1st of December 2024. Interesting. Other news outlets are not giving a specific date for the offences. In this publication, all charges involved the same complainant, court documents show, and occurred in Lansdowne. All 3 alleged offences happened between September 1st, 2024 and March 30th, 2025. So that was from RCMP spokeswoman Alison Gerard in an email on Thursday. But CTV...
That also said Martell was released on conditions and is scheduled to appear in Pictou Provincial Court March 2nd for arraignment. So I'm assuming he's out. That's what I'm wondering. Does Canada consider a 16-year-old an adult? But again, it doesn't make sense. It would have to be Malaya. Yeah, the charge specifically, what is it? Hold on. Sexual interference. When we look that up, like, I don't, I'm wondering if they're saying, like, unless a 16-year-old is considered an adult in Canada, I wonder if they're trying to make it clear that it doesn't have to do with Jack and Lily. But again, the definition of sexual interference in Canada, which is what he's charged with, is defined as any direct or indirect sexual touching of a person under the age of 16. How old is Malaya? Does anybody know? Was she under the age of 16 at that time? 16 is still a child. And the time frame is Malaya. How old is Malaya? That's really weird for me. I'm not understanding the charge, why he's charged with that, if that's what it means. Yeah, 16-year-olds can do some jobs but are still considered underage. So how old, it's got to be Malaya, and how old it Sweet Melissa said I thought it was another woman. I thought it was the current girlfriend until we found out the date of the offense was December 1st of 2024. Well, no, I wouldn't think that he was seeing other people December 1st of 2024, because that's not long before the children go missing. No, that's wait, wait, skirt, stop. The date of their disappearance is May of 2025. But Meadow is what, a year old? So it still would have been Malaya, because I mean that's 2 years that they were together. They were together for like 3 years. So it still would have been Malaya, unless he was cheating on her or he saw other women, like they broke up for a little while, he saw somebody else, and then they got back together. It would have to be Malaya. Now it's entirely possible that they got in an argument, broke up, and he messed around with somebody else and was with that person on December 1st of 2024, and then him and Malaya got back together. Yeah, unless somebody came forward. Thank you. She was 27 in 2025, so she would have been 26. So unless they broke up or he was cheating, which is entirely possible, I don't know. It would have to be in reference to Malaya, and they keep saying that it's an adult. I don't know if they're saying that because of the charge saying that, and they want to reiterate that even though it says that, it's actually an adult that he's being charged about, or if they're trying to reiterate that it doesn't have to do with the children. 5 to 6 months before Jack and Lily went missing. Thank you, Jenny Jen. Um, my love. This is mind blowing.
RCMP spokeswoman Alison Gerard in an email on Thursday. But CTV got the court documents, so presumably there's a date in those court documents. Listen again.
But as you say, very few details. We received some basic facts in an email this afternoon from RCMP, and we obtained some court documents about an hour ago.
So
let me see if I can pull this up real quick. All right, we're gonna jump back to her. Oh no, hold on. It says that y'all lost audio, so y'all probably couldn't hear anything just then. Hold on. I apologize. Let me pull this up. Yeah, so who was under the age of 16 at that time? Right, Wolfpack. Maybe he was dating someone and she found out he cheated on her by messing with an underage girl and just now came forward to talk about it. That's entirely possible. Yeah, I think they made that Lily Jack distinction for a reason too. Yeah, I think that's what everybody's asking. A lot of people are agreeing with you when you say maybe he was dating someone. She found out he cheated on her by messing with an underage girl and just now came forward to talk about it. That makes sense.
Few details. We've received some basic facts in an email this afternoon from RCMP, and we obtained some court documents about an hour ago.
So they got the email, that's Alison Gerard, the spokesperson, but then they got the court documents. Now, I haven't seen these court documents, but it seems to be the court documents that give a specific date.
The arrest actually happened at the start of this week. So police arrested 34-year-old Daniel Robert Martell of Lansdowne on Monday, January 26th, around 11:30 in the morning. He is facing 3 charges, serious charges: assault, sexual assault, and forcible confinement. Court documents say.
So here it says, per the court documents, it's assault, the actual assault and forcible confinement. That is not sexual interference. So maybe Google got it wrong. Google might have gotten it wrong. And he might not be charged with sexual interference. Excuse me, because again, the news just stated, who has the court documents, that it was assault, like regular assault, sexual assault, and forcible confinement. There was no sexual interference there. So maybe we got misinformation and it doesn't have to do with a 16-year-old. It's going to be he grabbed her, threw her on the bed or something. Something happened in that department and he told her, he grabbed her, threw her on the bed maybe, and said, "You can't leave this room," and then had his way. That's just the speculation. Obviously, I was not in the room or that wouldn't have happened. I would have beat his ass, but you know.
The victim was an adult female, and the alleged incidents occurred on Gerlach Road in Lansdowne on December 1st, 2024.
So the email, presumably, was vaguer than the court documents. So 1st of December 2024 is when these assaults allegedly occurred. So what are these assaults? What's the definition of assault and SA in Canada? Well,
we'll look that up, but again, there is no interference, sexual interference. All right, we'll look that up real quick. So, sexual assault law of Canada is set out in criminal code enacted by the Parliament of Canada. It consists of 3 separate offenses: sexual assault with a weapon, threats, or causing bodily harm. But what's the definition? In Canada, sexual assault is defined under criminal code as unwanted sexual act or contact made without the consent of the person involved. This includes a range of actions from unwanted touching to sexual intercourse, and it does not require significant physical violence to qualify as assault. The core element of sexual assault is the absence of consent, which is crucial in determining the legality of the act. Now we'll do assault. Assault is defined under the criminal code and it includes any unconsented physical contact or action that causes someone to react defensively without actual contact, and intentionally applying force to another person without consent, either directly or indirectly. It encompasses both threats and physical force with no separate charge for battery. This unified definition covers all forms of assault per Canadian law. So to me, it sounds like they got in an argument. He grabbed her, said, "You're not leaving this room," and then touched her in an inappropriate way or had his way with her. Yeah, it could be a he said, she said. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, it's got to be that there was some kind of glitch with Google or something when the original was looked up because he's evidently not charged with sexual interference, which is what we first thought. And then forcable, forcible confinement. Forcible confinement in Canada is defined as the act of holding someone against their will through use of threats, duress, or force. It's not limited to physical restraint. It can also involve psychological coercion or intimidation. According to the criminal code, it includes confining, imprisoning, or forcibly seizing a person without lawful authority. The offense is treated seriously and can lead to severe penalties, including imprisonment for up to 10 years. So the fact that it's Malaya coming forward and those records were just released, like, I don't understand why now. Why now, after the documents were unsealed? Did somebody talk to her and say you should press charges against him for when he took your phone and put his hands on you, and she finally decided to press charges for that? I mean, that's about the only thing that makes sense. That she After the records were released, she decided to press charges against him for it, but not before. That's interesting. Yep. Tammy said, sounds like some alleged sick shit took place, and that is not cool. Yeah. Yep. That was misinformation. I apologize about that. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad that she doesn't mind. She does really good content, and I like her content. I'm wondering though, why now, after all this time, did she come forward and charge him? Theirs includes coercion. Yep. I know this is in Canada, but in the US, you'd be surprised how quick they let a demon back on the street. I know that's right. Or they had a fight recently and she went to the cops. Well, they say it stems from December 1st of 2024, which is before Jack and Lily even went missing. And again, they had that information, right? They had the information talking about where he alleged that he abused her. And I mean, that she said that he abused her by grabbing her phone from her hand and it would sometimes hurt. And I think confinement. He came out and said it was all not true and that he never did that. So maybe that pissed her off and she decided to press charges. Because the RCMP had that like a couple of days after Jack and Lily went missing. The only reason we're just now hearing about it is because it was just now unredacted. That would explain when she left, why she left when and like she did. Yeah, but it was again, what did 3 to 4 months before the kids went missing, 5 to 6 months before Jack and Lily went missing. But I've been in a relationship where it was very physically violent. And I didn't leave because we had a child together and I wanted to stay together for the child. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he did abuse her and she stayed because of Meadow. Yep. Damn, that's fucked up. I'll work on finding some more stuff about that for tomorrow and wait. I do probably tomorrow evenings when we'll do the drawing to see who wins. It is. Thank you so much. Maybe. But I mean, again, the charge is from December 1st of 2024, a little over a year ago, before Jack and Lily went missing. So why would she? I mean, unless, like you're saying, like if he did recently make a threat to her, like if you don't stop talking to, I mean, but she didn't talk. Records got unredacted. Like she really hasn't done anything. I'm wondering if she got mad when he was like, "I've never abused her, and I never would abuse her like that." Yeah, that's true. She left when she thought it may have been safe to leave with so many police involved in there. That's a possibility, yeah. To be honest, I don't see how this doesn't directly or indirectly affect the kid's disappearance. Hmm. I mean, we can say that he was abusive and we can say that Jack had a lot of black eyes to the extent that the school called CPS. The children were coming to school without the proper attire for the weather to the extent of they had to keep clothes at the school for them. And, all of this substance use allegedly when you're coming down off of substances and you're withdrawing, you can get angry, you can get hostile, all of these things can happen. So I mean, it could absolutely directly involve the kid's disappearance. It also could be in kind of indirectly, like they could have been high or sleeping like they said they were at the time and the kids disappeared. Like, I don't know. um It's, just speculating, like Southern Cat said, just me speculating, you know what I mean? I know it's not painting Daniel in a good light, that's for sure. But I also see that it was from a year ago and nothing had been said until now, which is also weird for me. You don't believe her? You don't believe her either. You don't believe either one of them. About the children, Lorianne? Yeah. All right, we're going to go ahead and go to what we need to talk about for today, what's on the thumbnail, because I got a document we're going to talk about, and then we're going to go over a video that Law and Crime did on this situation. Um, and I want to talk to y'all because I saw a couple things. I kind of read between the lines, and I'm going to see what I can find on this. I'm going to try to get the court documents or see what I can do to find out more about that situation with Daniel. I know. Right, Tammy? I was riding with him too. I was right there in the back seat riding with him, and now I don't know what to feel. I'm kind of upset. I really am. Because I felt like, he's out here looking for the kids, whereas Malaya's not. Like, I was kind of, sitting in the back seat of that car riding down the road with Daniel, and now it's just like I think I got out and just took off walking. Got out to pop a squat and just didn't get back in. This has got me upset. You think they're both involved with the little ones? I don't know how they would pass a polygraph test if they were, but I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility to be honest, you know what I mean? All right, so we're going to talk about Virginia Gonzales. This bitch right here. I'm going to I guess we'll kind of start with the video, and then because it's going to talk about the charging documents, and then I'm going to read you with the charging documents. I did want to show you.
Well, police are still searching for.
Hold on. I want to show you the thumbnail for this video because it has a picture on it. It's just hard to keep an open mind about that guy now that he's been arrested, but we should because they don't have anything yet to arrest him for the kids. That's 100% fact.
Boom, 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 bam.
Absolutely. And he could have done that. He could be entirely guilty of assault, sexual assault, and confinement and still not have had anything to do with the kid's disappearance. That is entirely possible. Where is it? What the hell? What the hellita? What the hellion? Tay? Okay, this is what the title of their video is. Missing Girls Party Mom Admits to Horrifying Abuse. And here they've got photos that I did not have time to gather because my days have just been absolutely insane. So we're going to go through this video and we're going to go over the documents. Keo got me these documents. She is so wonderful. I'm going to drop her channel link. If y'all have not subscribed, please do so. Rhonda, good to see you. Said, I believe neither one of them had anything to do with it. I'm looking toward the brother. That's on point too. The brother that was in the camper that day that we've not heard anything else about since then is definitely concerning because we heard that he lived in the camper with Janie, and then all of a sudden nothing else is said about him. It's interesting in cases how you'll hear stuff like that in the beginning and then nothing else is ever said about it. You try to go find information on it and you can't find it. So Hio got the document for us on this case when I heard about it. There's her link. If you guys have not subscribed to the Guardians of Firelight, please do so. True crime with Hio.
In his story.
Amazing. All right, so this one's good. This is a long crime episode that I'm going to share with you guys. We're going to fair use it. It's going to show photos of this bitch that I don't have yet. And we're going to read through the charging documents and talk about this case because I'm real pissed off about the fact that she was offered. You'll see. We'll talk about it. Here she is with some kind of beer in her hand that looks like a vape in her other hand.
The case of a mom who locked her 7-year-old daughter in an apartment closet for weeks. It left the girl malnourished, starving, and with brain damage that may last a lifetime. No longer is this an alleged case of abuse. Virginia Gonzales just accepted a plea deal. We're talking about the mom who was out partying as her other daughter had been missing for years. And per a new report, that girl may be dead. I'll tell you how long Virginia Gonzales is expected to spend in prison and why her story isn't over yet. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
You have fun out partying on a fucking yacht while your daughter's in a closet starving to death? Bitch. And she took a plea deal. Okay, we're going to talk about this plea deal. It's going to be really, really important because I feel there's way more to the reason she did that than we're going to know about. Normally, I wouldn't. I've been trying to get away from playing law and crime videos and going over them, but this video lays it out perfectly, and it has interviews in it that I don't have access to without the video. So we are watching law and crime today, though I try to steer away from that more often than not. So if y'all will bear with me, we'll get through it. I missed too much.
On trial January 26th on charges that she locked her 7-year-old daughter.
Wait a minute.
Virginia Gonzales was scheduled to go on trial January 26th on charges she locked her 7-year-old daughter in a closet for weeks, leaving the girl with lifelong health problems, including brain damage. But something in her case changed in a big way this week. Court records that we have out of Austin, Texas show that Virginia Gonzales is pleading guilty to 2 charges of injury to a child, elderly, or disabled person with intent.
Now, that's the same document that I have. So we're going to read this. Okay. At first, this was her charging document. She has just pled guilty to this. She was supposed to go on trial January 26th. And then she said she took a plea deal after having already been offered a plea deal and turning the first plea deal down and saying, I'm not pleading to this. I want to take it to court. So she's scheduled to go to court January 26th, and all of a sudden she says, I'll take a plea deal. We're going to talk about why I think she did that. So this is what she admitted to doing. This is the state of Texas versus Virginia Marie Gonzales in Austin City. Affidavit and application for arrest warrant. The undersigned affiant, who being duly sworn by me on oath, makes the following statement. I have reason to believe and do believe that Virginia Marie Gonzales, who was born March 31st of 1992, did then and there on or about December 10th of 2024 to April 3rd of 2025 at the address commit the offense of 1, injury to a child, elderly, or disabled with intent, SBI mental, with intent to something, SBI mental, first degree felony. So the constable, who is an investigator assigned to the child abuse unit of the Austin Police Department, did find out the following information based on victim statements, witness statements, etc. The victim is a 7-year-old female who is fully identified in Austin Police Department incident report and will be hereinafter referred to as victim. On April 3rd of 2025 at approximately 4:36 p.m., Austin police officers responded to a check welfare urgent 911 call at the address. The complainant, identified as Marina Rosales, called 911 hysterically, saying she went into this apartment and found her 7-year-old granddaughter, which was the victim, malnourished, soiled, and barricaded in a bedroom closet. Miss Rosales stated that she was notified that the victim's mother, Virginia Gonzales, a Hispanic female with the date of birth of March 31st, 1992, had been arrested earlier that morning. Miss Rosales told the responding officers that she located the victim inside of a bedroom closet. Miss Rosales stated she took photos of the area where the victim was located and provided them to the officers. The photos showed a double door that has a charging cable tied around the handles in a way that prevents the door from opening. Additionally, a large box and a plastic bin with items were placed against the door to prevent it from opening. Miss Rosales said after she removed those barriers, she opened the door and located victim sitting on the ground. Victim was extremely emaciated and had soiled herself. Miss Rosales said the older children told her that Virginia ordered the oldest child to put the victim inside the closet because the victim had issues controlling her bladder and was always getting into stuff. Miss Rosales clarified that, quote, always getting into stuff, unquote, meant that she was trying to eat things she was not supposed to. I'm already pissed off. I'm already pissed off. Why is if the child was born happy and healthy and there was no reason for the child to be soiling herself at that age, then why was she soiling herself? Like there's trauma, just trauma, trauma, trauma. Um, because if there's nothing going on like, autism or chromosomal deletion or something that would explain something like that going on, what is going on that's making her do that? This document is not old at all. It doesn't give me the date, but she was arrested. Oh, this is it's from April 25th of 2025. See, this is the arresting document, right? And so when she pled, she said, I did those things. She said, I did the things that are listed in the affidavit and application for arrest warrant. And this is the same document that you just saw blurred out on the screen of the law and crime video that we're watching. Hold on. This one right here is the exact same one. See? Affidavit and application for arrest warrant, injury to a child. I'm reading the document that they were just referencing. Hio got it for me. She's so sweet. It hurts my heart too. Yep. Another Chandra Vander Ark and Timothy Ferguson. Exactly, Wolfpack. Yep.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
I'll never understand that shit. I have 4 teenagers that eat me out of house and home, but I just buy shit and try to keep it in there as much as possible. And if they get too hungry, I can stuff. I have a garden, so I'll can stuff in the spring and I'll say there's some canned stuff in there you can eat, some canned fruits, canned things like that. I have apple butter. We always have peanut butter and jelly. I mean, there's no reason. There's no reason for this shit. Officers identified 7 children, including the victim, that were located in the apartment. 7 children. These children were aged 14, 10, 8. The victim was 7. There was a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. Okay, so again, the children were ages 14, 10, 8, 7, 4, 3, 2. The victim was brought to the Austin Travis County EMS to Dell Children's Medical Center. Victim was found to have a body weight of 29 fucking pounds at 7 years old. 29 pounds at 7 years old. 7 kids. But that's not all. That's not all, Tammy. Look at that girl that went on vacation to Puerto Rico for a couple days, came back and her baby was gone. Starvation, feces down the throat from eating her own Yeah, I've heard about that. I haven't dug into it deep, but I do want to pull documents on that case. I've heard about it, but I can't remember exactly which one it was. Yeah, where are the families at? The grandmother found her, but how did you just find her? The victim had dark colored spots covering her body that medical staff indicated were signs of malnourishment. The victim made statements to the medical staff that her bones hurt. This baby fucking said that her bones hurt because there was nothing else to hurt. The only thing that could hurt was bones because that's all there was. Jesus Christ. Medical professionals said it was likely that the victim would remain hospitalized to prevent refeeding syndrome, which is a metabolic disturbance that occurs when a starved or severely malnourished person is abruptly refed, leading to electrolyte imbalances in potassium, magnesium, and phosphate, and fluid shifts. These imbalances can cause serious complications, including muscle weakness, breathing problems, seizures, coma, and even death. So basically, it was so bad that they couldn't go give this child something to eat immediately because if they did, they could send her into a coma or prevent or make her have a seizure. Eating food could make this 7-year-old child go into a coma because she had been starved for that fucking long. She didn't just start using electricity on them door handles that night, no way. No, I don't think she was using electricity on it. I think that she had, like, a phone cord, like let me see. I think what it was describing is if my hands are 2 door handles and you would move them like this to open the door, right? She took a cord and wrapped it around like this, okay? So when you do that, it's a phone cord, yes, but it's going to prevent me from moving my finger or moving the door handles to open the door. And then she had like a plastic bin full of stuff sitting in front of it. So basically, you couldn't open the door. The child could not push the door from the inside, open it, and get out. I think that's what it was saying. I don't think there was electricity on it, but I could be wrong. Victims' siblings were forensically interviewed at the Center for Child Protection in Austin, Texas. The 10-year-old sibling, fully identified in Austin Police Department report, will be referred to as LG. So the 10-year-old L stated that the 7-year-old victim would eat 1 corn dog for the day. She gave her a corn dog a day. At least she had that, thank God. But what the fuck? Y'all, I got to, because I already know. Hold on. Hold on just a minute. And probably didn't get it every day. That's probably what the damn child saw. How much nutrition is in a corn dog is what I asked. Here are the nutrition facts for corn dogs. There's 150 to 200 calories. There's 4 to 6 grams of protein. This is what she got a day. A day. A 7-year-old got 150 to 200 calories a day, 4 to 6 grams of protein, 20 to 25 grams of carbohydrate, 7 to 10 grams of fat. The minerals vary by brand, but may include very small amounts of iron and calcium. Four to 6 grams of protein, 150 calories a day for a 7-year-old. Fuck you, this bitch. Okay. The 10-year-old sibling said Virginia told him to put the victim in the closet because she urinates. Virginia told him to tie the door shut and place items in front of the door. The 10-year-old said that Virginia, the mother, was present when this happened. The 10-year-old said that the 7-year-old victim was in the closet for a month. For a fucking month. Virginia ordered him to clean the closet because the 7-year-old victim would urinate and defecate in the closet. The 10-year-old stated that the 7-year-old victim only ate or drank while in the closet. The 10-year-old said the victim would eat a corn dog or a hot dog in the morning and in the evening. So what, 2 a day, I guess? The 10-year-old said the 7-year-old victim would only receive half of a cup of water. So she's severely dehydrated as well. Hey, Kalisa. Good to see you. Yeah, you see how tubby she is, right? Her damn chest hanging out, taking shots on a fucking yacht. You saw, that's why it's important to look at them pictures. You saw how tubby she was. Yeah, that's Chandra Vander Ark all fucking day. Exactly. Exactly. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Well, where was she supposed to go to the bathroom when she was locked up? Exactly.
Bop, boom, 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 bop, bam.
You got her locked in a fucking closet and are upset that she's using the bathroom in there. Hello. The 10-year-old said the 7-year-old victim was, quote, skinny as a bone, unquote. The 10-year-old said the 7-year-old only had a blanket in the closet. This is her biological child. The 3-year-old sibling, fully identified in Austin Police Department report, will be referred to as Jay, stated the victim was left in the closet and that the closet was, quote, stinky, unquote. Lizeth Rosales, paternal aunt of 3 children, was interviewed by detectives. Lizeth stated she last observed the victim in December of 2024 and that seemed relatively normal. Lizeth said she observed the victim today and she could not believe that this was the same child. She said it appeared that the victim's skin was peeling off and you could see all of her bones. Oh my God.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
Her skin was peeling off and you could see her fucking bones. What the fuck? Yes, she was. What? How the fuck does that even happen? Like, is her urine and feces burning her skin off? How the fuck does that even happen? Lizeth said she started shaking when she saw the 7-year-old victim. Lizeth stated the 10-year-old had a cell phone that he would use to message Virginia, the mother. Lizeth, the aunt, said she observed messages on the 10-year-old's phone from Virginia where Virginia would say she was coming to see the children, but she never actually did. The aunt said that Virginia treated the victim differently from her other children. So this bitch would be out partying with her boyfriend and on a yacht while all of her fucking kids are there in that apartment alone. Right. It's absolutely unbelievable. I read that one. She's living happily with her boyfriend. It's an awful story. Oh, read above oh, another girl moved out of her apartment, leaving many kids and sent pizza over. The apartment was filled with excrement, dirt, and urine because the toilet had stopped up. Is that this case? I think that was one out of Michigan, maybe, but I could be wrong. She was severely dehydrated and her organs would be shutting down. Yep. It's absolutely sickening. You might be right. I don't know. I saw that. I saw a picture of that something happening in damn Detroit. If these are 2 different cases, like how many other places is this shit happening? Jesus Christ. Affiant located Austin Police Department offense report from April 3rd of 2025 at 2:44 a.m. Virginia was identified in this report and arrested for possession of marijuana warrant in downtown Texas, Austin, Texas. This corroborates the statement that Virginia made to the responding officer that the aunt, Miss Rosales, made to the responding officer about Miss Gonzales, Virginia, being arrested. So basically, the police came to the apartment, picked her up on a warrant or wherever the hell she was at because she had a warrant for possession of marijuana out of downtown Austin, Texas. And the aunt, I guess, was going over there to check on her children, and that's when she found this fucked up situation. Amy from Pennsylvania, good to see you. Submit has been a member for 9 months. Thank you so much for the continued support. We almost got a YouTube baby. We got a YouTube baby. Allegedly missed your lives for ages. Glad to see you. I'm glad to see you too, Amy from Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for the continued support, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad I'm here too, and it's so good to see you. Let me get you an amazing.
Amazing!
Adam is coming over.
Tonight?
Yeah, he's gonna be over like 5 minutes. He's probably gonna stay tonight.
Okay.
In the living room. He's gonna be drinking.
Okay. Yeah, the 10-year-old has a phone, but never called anybody, I guess, but probably out of fear. And we're going to talk more about that. Do you need a drink?
Sure. What is that Powerball in the mini fridge?
No, it's in the safe.
Can you get it and put it in the mini freezer?
Yeah. Hold on, y'all.
Yeah, I'll take it out too.
Go. You can go get it. Camera's on.
Far down there.
Yeah. Such a dork. All right.
I'm gonna take a quick shower. He said he was like 5 minutes out, but I gotta get a shower.
Okay. So Tammy, I'm thinking that Virginia left the children there by themselves while she went and partied, from what it sounds like. And yeah, I do have a goofy husband. And so what I'm thinking, what it sounds like to me is that Virginia left the children there while she went and did everything that she was doing. Like we saw the videos where she's drinking, she's on the yacht, she's doing this out with her boyfriend, making Instagram, TikTok, what the fuck ever photos. It sounded to me like the children were there by themselves because the 10-year-old with the phone showed messages where she would say, I'm coming by to check on y'all, and then would never show up. She gets arrested. She probably calls the aunt or her sister to try to get her bailed out on this possession of marijuana charge. The warrant she has, she got arrested. And the aunt probably took it upon herself to go check on the children at the apartment, and that's when she found the victim. Thank you again, Amy, and it was good to see you. All right. Continuing. On April 4th of 2025, the officer, along with other detectives of the Austin Police Department's Child Abuse Unit, executed a residential search warrant at a 2-bedroom apartment. The pantry, refrigerator, and freezer at the apartment were all found to be stocked with a variety of different foods to include frozen corn dog, fries, hamburger meat, ice cream, bread, fruit, cheese, and yogurt. The first bedroom contained numerous child toys, a small beanbag type chairs, clothing, boxes, and padded floors. It was described as a playroom. The closet of this room was where victim had previously been barricaded inside. The closet had an immense smell of fecal matter and urine. On one end of the closet, numerous clothes were stacked high. The other side had a plastic trash bin that contained several empty water bottles, dirty paper plates, wooden sticks, likely from corn dogs, and a plastic water bottle containing numerous small, dried up pieces of feces. Affiant believes, based on the conditions of the closet, that the victim would defecate inside the closet and then put waste inside of the water bottle. Y'all, this is so fucked up. I'm glad that you're making it home, Abellis. Be careful of. Jesus. Additionally, there was a dryer sheet and clothes with smeared fecal matter that were likely used as toilet paper by the victim. There was also fecal matter on the floor. Based on these observations, your affiant believes that the victim had been locked in the closet for weeks at a time. The dimensions of this closet were measured to be approximately 4 foot by 9 inches by 1 foot 10 inches. Due to the other items found inside the closet, the victim had approximately 3 foot 1 inches by 1 foot 10 inches of actual space. So a rectangle that was 3 feet long and 1 foot wide was the area that she lived in for a fucking month. Amy said, by the way, this is the first time I've actually seen you, and you look so much younger than I expected. I expected you to be older because you sound so wise. You're wiser than your years. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate the compliment. I'm so glad that you stopped by while I was on camera. I started coming on camera because I had to take a break for so long. But thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate that. I've heard that a lot in my life. You're so sweet. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm so glad that you came back in today. It's so good to see you. Okay. The closet contained no lighting and no air circulation. There was one toy in the closet that one of her brothers had given her. The boxes that were placed in front of the door to barricade it with the victim inside had a combined weight of over 75 pounds. And keep in mind, this is a 7-year-old child that weighs 29 pounds, so there's no way she could have moved that 75-pound box. I wish I was 21. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with these people. Your affiant obtained preliminary medical notes from the Dell Children's Medical Center Child Abuse Resource and Education, or CARE team. Certified pediatric nurse practitioner Miss Suvia of the Dell's Children Care team reviewed the emergency room report along with the photo documentation obtained by the Children's Medical Center. He documented the following in his report. So the practitioner, Mr. Suvia, documented that the victim weighed 29 pounds, which places her in the -1 percentile for her age. There was significant and diffuse hyperpigmentation to the arms, legs, torso, and neck, with sparing of the face, hands, and feet. Fingernails and toenails are long, and fingernails have significant brown debris underneath that is likely fecal matter. Several areas of her hyperpigmented skin were rubbed vigorously with an alcohol pad, and a large path of the hyperpigmentation on her back was successfully removed, revealing healthy skin below and strongly suggesting retention hyperpigmentation from infrequent hygiene. So her fucking skin was discolored because they didn't let her wash herself. Again, the fucking urine and the feces on her body is causing her skin to turn colors. What the fuck? Victim, quote, exhibits profound loss of subcutaneous fat stores across her body, including evidence of moderate to severe cerebral atrophy from her prolonged malnutrition, which she will never recover. With the reported history of food and water restriction in the home and the significant evidence of severe malnutrition reflected in her physical examination and growth charts, the victim will be at risk for developing refeeding syndrome without careful monitoring of her electrolytes in a hospital setting. Again, they can't just give her food and start feeding her again because they could send her into a seizure or a fucking coma because she's so malnourished. If I turn my numbers around, I'll be 72 soon. You're 27. I wish I was 27. On April 8th of 25, affiant conducted a recorded interview with Virginia Gonzales, the paternal grandmother of the victim. She stated that the victim had stayed with her for almost a year until November of 2024, and she was healthy and she would eat normally. Virginia returned and stayed at her mother's residence for approximately 2 weeks before moving out. The grandmother stated that Virginia took all of the children while she was at work and did not inform the grandmother of where they were moving. The grandmother did not have any contact with Virginia or the victim during this time period. The grandmother said Virginia treated the victim differently from her other children. The grandmother said that Virginia never showed love or cared for the victim. The grandmother said that Virginia's 14-year-old told her that the victim had been in the closet for 3 or more weeks. Based upon the above listed information, I have probable cause to believe that between December 10th of 2024 and April 3rd of 2025, she did within the city of Austin, Travis County, Texas, there commit the offense of injury to a child that resulted in serious bodily injury to a 7-year-old. The injury includes the moderate to severe cerebral atrophy or loss of brain cells and their connections due to severe prolonged malnutrition from which the child will never recover. The child's fucking brain was shutting down because she was so malnourished. Hey, Tom, good to see you. Oh, okay. I misread it. The body can go into shock with too much food. That's insane to me. Good God. All right, so this is going to be the indictment. Count 1, there's 3. Injury to a child, elderly, disabled with the intent to SBI mental. There's 3 counts of that. All 3 are felonies. Oh, no, 2 counts of that. I'm sorry. The 3rd count is injury to a child, elderly, or disabled with the intent to injure her body. So the grand jury for the county of Travis, state of Texas, duly selected, impelled, and sworn, states that Virginia Gonzales, on or about the 3rd day of April of 2025, and before the presentment of this indictment in the county of Travis, state of Texas, did there and intentionally and knowingly cause serious bodily injury to VG, a child 14 years of age or younger, by preventing VG from consuming a sufficient amount of food and from preventing her from accessing medical care. Good gracious. I don't know why I couldn't read that. The next one is that she caused serious bodily injury to the child by failing to provide adequate protection, sufficient amount of food, and medical care. She had a legal statutory duty to act on behalf of the child, and she had assumed care, custody, and control of the child. Count 2 says that on the same day, same person intentionally and knowingly caused serious mental deficiency, impairment, and injury to the victim by preventing the victim from consuming a sufficient amount of food and by preventing her from accessing medical care. Paragraph 2 is again failing to provide adequate protection, sufficient amount of food, and medical care to the child. She had a legal and statutory duty to act on behalf of the child. The defendant had assumed care, custody, and control. And then again, she did intentionally and knowingly cause bodily injury to the child by striking her with a belt or other unknown object. Why did she treat this child so much differently? That's insane. So she starved the child to the extent of that this child is going to have permanent brain damage just because she fucking stuck her in a closet and starved her because she didn't like her or want to be around whatever the fucking issue was. The man who had been locked up since he was 12 couldn't eat much, being 64 pounds for months. Now the Connecticut Police Department buy him pizza. That's so sweet. You're talking about the one where the house burned down and they found the person in there? Is that what you're referencing? All right, now we're going to go back to the video. Now, she pled guilty to all of the charges in that indictment, but at first she didn't. And we're going to talk about why I think she pled guilty finally.
Out of Austin, Texas, show that Virginia Gonzales is pleading guilty to 2 charges of injury to a child, elderly, or disabled person with intent. Now, we'll talk about how long Gonzales is expected to go to prison for in just a moment. And I'll be clear that we're just talking about one of what appears to be 2 cases involving Virginia Gonzales. Now, this is the same mom, a mom, by the way, who has at least 7 kids who we have videos of out partying and living the fast life. Now,
Look at this bitch out partying, living that life while her fucking 7 kids are in the apartment and one is locked up in the fucking closet. I think that child might have had a different dad. Yeah, perhaps. Out there running the fucking streets, living the fast life while her kids are at home in the apartment left alone. What the
judgment
fuck?
here on anyone.
Look at this shit pissed me right the fuck off. She's holding a basket of Fritos, Lay's, Haribo gummy bears, the damn cookies with the stripes, and a damn box of Whoppers. Her fat ass in the damn bathing suit on a fucking yacht holding all this food while her fucking child is in a closet starving to death to the point of having brain damage. And this bitch is holding Frito, not even thinking about it. Skank, 100%. It is always the evil step parents, but I'm a good step parent. I don't even call myself a step parent. They're my bonus children, and I love them. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't see them any different than my children. I raised them all of the children I have raised, which has been several over the years. I treat them all the same. They are all my babies, and I would die for any of them in the blink of an eye. I don't get it.
Going out and about with kids at home. But when these videos were taken, she had a daughter who was missing, a girl who is still missing and has been missing for years. The name of that girl is Ava Marie Gonzales. Now, this is her picture from when she was just 2 years old. This picture was taken in roughly 2017. And that is the last time that
I know you didn't mean
has ever seen Ava Gonzales to this day. Ava was never reported missing, and police had no idea that she actually even existed.
So she not only had 7 children that she kept, I think the keys to the Jeep are hanging up. Beep, beep, got the keys to the Jeep. She had these 7 children in the house, and then as the police kind of talked to them and got the victim taken care of, they found out that not only did she have 7 children, but she actually had 8, and one had been missing since 2017. So she has 8 children total, and one had been reported missing since 2017. Yep, there's a missing child. One of the children is missing. Absolutely.
Until they started investigating Gonzales after they came upon that disturbing case of abuse involving one of her other daughters, which is the case that she just accepted this plea deal for. Now, we're following some new information this week about Ava Marie. This is the picture that law enforcement put out of what she may look like today if she were still alive. I mean, it's been roughly a decade since she was last seen. Sadly,
she's had a missing toddler for 10 years, almost, roughly, approximately. And then there's a 7-year-old that she's starved to the point of brain damage in the closet.
We'll talk about why police may believe the search for Ava may not have the ending that all of us are hoping for. But I want to lay out for you right now what Gonzales is pleading guilty to, because we have the arrest affidavit. And I will warn you, in this case, it's not only incredibly sad, it's incredibly disturbing, the details that are in this police document, but they're important to talk about. On August 3rd, 2025, police were called to an apartment building on Ross Road in Austin.
I'm going to skip ahead of this real quick because we've already read all of that. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. We read all of that.
Now, inside that apartment, there were 7 of Virginia Gonzales's children, and their ages were between 14 down to just 2 years old. Now, the children told their grandmother, who is Virginia Gonzales's mom, that Virginia put that 7-year-old girl in the closet because she felt like she had issues controlling her bladder and she was, quote, always getting into stuff. Now, it would be disturbing for any parent to do this to a child in any situation. But in this case, the 7-year-old girl, when she was found, when she was rescued, she weighed just 29 pounds. That's the weight of a toddler. We're talking about
Yeah.
a girl who's 7 years old. On top of that, according to this arrest document, the girl had dark colored spots on her body, and doctors say that showed that she was malnourished. And this next line, it really breaks your heart because the girl told medical staff at the hospital that, quote, her bones hurt. Doctors wrote that the young girl, quote, exhibits profound loss of subcutaneous fat stores across her body, including evidence
So we read all of that. Okay, I'll just play it.
of moderate to severe cerebral atrophy
Oh my goodness.
from her prolonged malnutrition, which she will never recover. So, in plain terms,
Darzilla, thank you so much for the super chat. Did they just say she was never reported missing? I thought that no, she was reported missing because they wouldn't have the what she would look like now. I don't think. I think they said she was reported missing, but she had just been missing. Um, let me pull the transcript and I will check it, Darzilla. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. Exactly, Tammy. That's where we're going. That's why she hurried up and took that deal. That's where we're going. Thank you so much for the super chat, Darzilla. I really, really appreciate the support so very much. I'm going to get you an amazing for that.
Amazing!
Thank you so very much. I'm going to check the transcript while y'all watch it, and then I'm going to double check. But I think they said she was reported missing, but let me double check. We're going to double check.
there, doctors are saying that this girl was starved so bad and for so long that she will have brain damage for a
Hold on a
lifetime.
minute.
Law enforcement believes that the little girl had been in that closet for 3 weeks, if not longer. Law enforcement then interviewed the 7-year-old siblings. Remember, there were 7 kids in total in this apartment. And those kids told detectives that Virginia had forced the older children to clean the closet after the 7-year-old girl would go to the bathroom there because she was just kept in this closet for so long and was not allowed out. They also say that the 7-year-old only ate and drank while she was in the closet, that she was fed a hot dog or a corn dog in the morning and at night, and that was it. She was
That's so frustrating. Hold on a minute. Okay. So it says we're talking about the mom who was out partying as her other daughter had been missing for years. And per a new report, that girl may be deceased. I'll tell you how Virginia is expected to spend time in prison. Okay. When these videos were taken, she had a daughter who was missing, a girl who is missing and has been missing for years. The name of that girl is Ava Gonzales. Now, this is her picture from when she was just 2 years old. This picture was taken roughly 2017, and that's the last time anyone ever saw Ava Gonzales. Ava was never reported missing. Okay. They did say that she was never reported missing. Yes. I apologize about that. Ava was never reported missing, and police had no idea that she actually even existed until they started investigating Gonzales after they came upon that disturbing case of abuse involving one of her other daughters. So they did. I thought that she had been reported missing because we had the photo of what she would look like now, but I'm assuming that the Center for Missing and Exploited Children put that out just in case she is alive. I apologize. Thank you guys. Yeah, they said thank you for the correction. She was never reported missing. And thank you, Darzilla, for asking that so I could correct it. I appreciate you very much.
He was also only given a half cup of water. According to the arrest affidavit, the fridge, it was stocked. Fries, hamburger meat, ice cream, bread, fruit, everything needed to feed a child. And yet this girl was less than 30 pounds. Now, the morning that police made this discovery, Virginia Gonzales was arrested in Austin for possession of marijuana.
How much more frustrating does it make it to know that the refrigerator was stocked with food, but the child was starving to death? And I don't blame the other children in the house because they were probably scared to give her food because the mama would come back and beat them with a belt or something. I hope she does. I really hope she does, but I don't know.
And by this point, you probably are starting to get an opinion on who Virginia Gonzales is. Her own mom told police that after finding that 7-year-old girl, quote, Gonzales never showed love or cared for the victim. She said that Virginia treated this girl differently than the others.
Oh, thank you.
Now,
guys.
Virginia Gonzalez's arrest in the child abuse case, sadly, it was just the beginning of what police would find related to her. In the course of their investigation, they also discovered that Virginia didn't just have 7 children. She had an 8th child. It was a girl who no one had seen since 2017.
During the investigation, police discovered that there was an 8th child who was not found inside the home. The missing 9-year-old child was identified as Ava Marie Gonzales. Missing persons detectives determined that Ava was last seen in December 2017 when she was 2 years old and in the custody of her mother, Virginia Marie Gonzales. Virginia Gonzales was arrested on April 24th, 2025 for injury to a child, serious vital injury, for the injuries sustained by her 7-year-old child. Austin Police Department's missing person detectives are seriously concerned about Ava's welfare, given the circumstances in which Ava's 7-year-old sibling was found.
Obviously, like we've got a child that has not been seen since she was 2 years old, not been reported missing, and we've got this 7-year-old in the fucking closet starving to the point of she's going to have permanent brain damage.
Guys, real quick, I want to get real because
Hold on a minute.
Ava was never reported missing. And just to add to that, there are no records of any of the Gonzales kids ever being in school. So there's no record for schools to track or report. And while
None of these children had ever been in school, not homeschooled, not anything. I don't even know how the fuck she got away with that because they keep track of that shit. Like, you got to have your child in school or enrolled in homeschool. They check that shit. Like, how the fuck you got 7 kids that you gave birth to in a hospital because you know her ass won't give him birth at home. Oh no, not her. I'm sure she had to get all the damn medication she needed. So it's not like the children were hidden from the radar when they were born. So like the children weren't, cause like I remember when my bonus kids were little, there was like, things started coming in the mail, like, selling when registration would start for kindergarten. And I figured that they just tracked it or something. I don't know, but like, I don't understand how you got 7 kids, ain't never had them in school at all. And there's a fucking 14-year-old that ain't never been educated a day in their damn life. And they're just at home. Nobody thought to check on that shit. The family didn't check. What the fuck? Yeah, she should never get out. Exactly, Darzilla. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Tammy said, once again, exemplary work on behalf of the Children's School District for their above and beyond efforts as mandated reporters. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how they got away with the not putting them in school at all. At all. Yeah. Like Cindy said, if they were never enrolled in school, there's no way to track them. I bet they never went to a doctor appointment either. How the fuck do you get away with that? Like, they track that shit. When you have a baby, they make you an appointment and they call you. And if you're not bringing that baby into that appointment, they're going to be wondering why. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Where are the grandparents? Evidently involved. The aunt was involved too. So what did they think the children were getting as far as education? And the grandmother talked in the affidavit about them being with her for some period of time. Virginia coming back, staying there for 2 weeks, and then moving back out and taking all the kids with her, as we read in the affidavit a minute ago. So when the grandmother had them, they weren't in school either. Is the grandmother homeschooling? Did they get any kind of education at all? Y'all, I'm beyond baffled. I hope that Texas uses the death penalty here. I really do. And that's a good question. There's a couple. There's definitely a few. And where the fuck are they at?
Gonzales's child abuse case does appear to be settled. And again, we'll talk about what her prison sentence could look like in just a moment. This week, there was a major development in the investigation into what may have happened to Ava Marie. Police in Austin have filed a search warrant authorizing detectives to gather information for what they are calling a murder investigation. KXAN TV in Austin has the court documents, and they reportedly lay out several conflicting stories about what may have happened to Ava, what people heard over the years about this missing girl. And it appears that Gonzales's oldest son may have the account that could crack this case and crack it in the saddest way. So court records state that child.
This is going to be triggering what this little boy remembered hearing and seeing. Okay. I just want to tell you that before we go any further.
Protective Services were told in November of 2023 that Ava had moved in with her dad. It's in a document that was signed by a grandmother of Gonzales's children, or at least it seemed that way, because when that grandmother was questioned about the document, she said that wasn't her signature. And they also say that the phone number on the document, it wasn't hers either.
So this bitch forged her mother's signature saying that Ava moved in with Ava's father, with the father. She's a $3 bill, and when the men find out, it's too late. She's pregnant. Right. I mean, pretty much yeah, exactly. Let me get you a 100 for that. Yep.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
She's a disgusting piece of excrement. Lower than the excrement that her little baby was putting inside of water bottles because of her stupid ass. Look at this man laying on her, and she's like acting like she's the motherly figure, just loving on her man. Bitch, get the fuck out of here.
Police then spoke with a former boyfriend of Gonzales, who is the dad of one of her children, and he said that Gonzales told him that Ava was her sister's child, and that Ava was living with her aunt and her uncle. Now, that ex-boyfriend also told police that Gonzales called Ava a, quote, crack baby who was born premature and was sickly and who had health problems and looked malnourished. But police say when they looked at hospital records,
she called this child a crack baby and said that her sister gave birth to that child. It wasn't even her child. Called her a crack baby. Hey, Kara, good to see you. It is. It really is, Tom.
Ava was born full term, and she was born at a healthy weight of 6 pounds with no complications. So police also say they then eventually get in touch with Ava's alleged father, and that's a man who lives in Mexico. And he told investigators that Gonzales told him that Ava was living with another family in San Antonio and that he never had custody of the girl. Now,
so the baby mama called the dad that's in Mexico and said, I gave our child to a family in San Antonio, and he never asked any fucking questions at all. Like, what the fuck?
It appears that one of the only witnesses to Ava is her now 14-year-old brother, who was 6 years old at the time that Ava was last seen.
Now, this account's going to be difficult to hear. This is what I was mentioning earlier. So basically, Virginia has manipulated everybody that asked questions about Ava. Oh, she's with her dad. Oh, she's not my child. She's my sister's child, and she was a crack baby. Oh, she's with my mom. Like, just telling everybody different stories to get them to quit asking questions about Ava. But the people that are there all the time that aren't going to lie is those children.
He told investigators in a forensic interview, according to KXAN TV, that when he was 6 years old,
right,
they were in a motel, and in the motel bathroom, he heard Ava screaming, quote, really bad. And he claims that he saw his mom violently assaulting Ava in the bathtub with the water running. Now, he says when the water turned off, the screaming stopped. He says that he then saw his mom put clothes on Ava and put her in a car seat. He described her looking like she was sleeping. He then claims that his mom said that Ava was going to live with a new mom and dad. He never saw his sister again, and he said,
that's what the brother witnessed. He witnessed his mother in the bathroom with Ava, who's violently screaming, and the mother is assaulting, which I guess smacking her, beating her somehow. This is a fucking 2-year-old little baby. screaming in the bathtub because her mama's assaulting her. The water turns off, everything gets quiet. She puts the baby in a fucking car seat and the baby looks like she's sleeping. And then the mama takes the baby off and says that she went to go live with another family. This is infuriating. And Cara, I'm sorry, I didn't say hey to you, love.
That after that happened, his mom, Virginia Gonzales, she was happy. She was like a totally new person, according to the boy.
What the fuck?
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
I'm wondering because it's been so long. What is like 7 years? 7 years. Are they going to be able to find Ava's body so that they can charge her with homicide, or is the brother's word going to be good enough? It probably was scalding hot water. Mhm. And she continued to have child after child after child after that too. And the 7-year-old we find malnourished in the damn closet to the point of being brain dead or having permanent brain damage.
Now, according to these documents obtained by KXAN, police believe that Ava died on or around January 2nd, 2018, and they believe that she was killed by her mom, Virginia Gonzales. Now, at the time,
Around January 2nd of 2018, so she would have been a year old. Excuse me. No, they said last seen around 2 years old. So she would have been around 2 years old. Probably not even able to say, "Mommy, please stop." Like, it breaks my heart. It really does. Yes. Amen to that. Because that's what this bitch needs.
of this recording, Virginia has not been charged in connection to Ava. She had only been facing the charges in connection to that abuse case where she just accepted the plea deal.
That's important to remember. Up until that point, she was only facing charges in reference to the 7-year-old. And I think even right now, she's only facing charges in reference to the 7-year-old that was malnourished in the closet. She refused an original plea deal and then took the second one. We're going to talk about it. I'm not sure. They just said in the arrest affidavit that the children ranged in age from 14, 10, from 14 years old, 10 years old, 8 years old. The victim was 7 years old, a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And that was the 7 that were in the house, not including Ava, because this is from before they realized Ava was technically missing.
So I spoke to a woman named Leanne, and she is someone who considers herself a former friend of Virginia Gonzales. She
Right.
said back in
That's
the
my
day they used to
concern.
run in the same circles, and she ended up giving some information to us about what Virginia Gonzales was like.
I think she had a real good
And I'm
way
missing it.
of hiding things, being very discreet with things, very manipulative, plotting the grandmas, her mom and the grandma that was involved with the kids against each other so they wouldn't speak with one another. She was a mastermind. She had control.
So she's plotting the grandmother and the aunt against each other. Wolfpack, it blocked it on my StreamYard, but Wolfpack said the baby probably went to a landfill. Probably. And there's probably no finding her now, unfortunately. Wolfpack. I don't know why it didn't show up on this side, but I checked my phone and read it. Probably. Why does this keep happening over and over again? So again, this person who knows her very well said she had a good way of basically making the aunt and the grandma fight to where they wouldn't talk to each other. So she could tell them both two different stories, like, oh, Ava's with mom or Ava's with my sister, and they wouldn't ask each other because they'd be too busy arguing with each other. She talks about how extremely manipulative she is. It's important to remember those things. Why do they believe they will get away with this? Like, what the fuck is wrong with them? Well, she did for fucking almost damn near 10 years. I do wonder about the ones we don't know about, Lorianne, because there always is. There always is ones we don't know about that are getting away with it until they don't. And if she had not gotten away with this to begin with, would we be able to lay Ava to rest? And would this 7-year-old not be permanently brain damaged?
She thought she had control of everybody is what I'm seeing now.
I also asked Leanne in our conversation about Ava and if there was anything she knew about what might have happened to that little girl.
Listen to this shit.
So when I first met her, I only knew of 3 little boys. I never knew Gina even had a girl. And then years passed through, and recently, about 2 years ago, she popped up out of nowhere. Mind you, she was living in San Antonio with her baby daddy with the 3 little boys, and she was, playing house. So nobody's seen her. And then randomly she pops up. When she popped up, that's when we started reconnecting and catching up. And she told me she had 3 more boys with that baby daddy. But I never knew she had a girl. Every mutual friend who I met her through, who knows her better than I do, all told me the same thing. Nobody knew about her having a girl. Back in the day, if we are correct, the 3rd little boy that she was saying was a boy was Ava, but she presented her as a boy back in the day. So after concluding that and confirming with multiple mutual friends, we all agreed that nobody knew about no girl.
So she presented Ava as a little boy and had what sounds like 5 other little boys, but there's a total of 8. So there's definitely 5 boys. I don't know about the other 3. I know one of those 3 was Ava, that she was presenting as a boy, because she's saying there was a total of 6. She had 3 boys and had 3 more little boys, but now she knows one of the children she was presenting as a boy was indeed Ava, which was a girl. So assuming that she's presenting all the children other than Ava as a boy and they are boys, that would be 5 little boys and then possibly 3 girls. We know that Ava was a girl, so there's at least 1 girl. I think the victim in the closet was a girl, so there could be 1 more girl, or that might be a boy. It's going to be interesting if all of the children, if she only had 2 girls, right? If she hated her girls, if she hated the girls that she had and only liked the little boys. That's going to open up a whole nother world of mental dysfunction. Like, you hate your daughters to the extent of killing them, starving them to death. Right.
How many fathers of her children does she have?
From what I know, there's about 6 or 7 fathers.
So
she's got 8 children and 6 or 7 different fathers. What the fuck? Yeah, she's a big old freaking hole in all the ways.
Heading into this week, it appeared that Gonzales was prepared to face charges in front of a jury in the abuse case. Her trial was slated to begin on January 26th, and she had reportedly already turned down a plea deal offer in the child abuse case in November. According to KXAN, Gonzales had rejected a plea deal on November 19th. Prosecutors back then were offering her 40 years in prison in exchange for a guilty plea on the charges of felony injury to a child. Now,
in November, she was offered 40 or 4 years in prison in reference to the child abuse charges, and she turned that down. But now, all of a sudden, she's taking a plea deal right before she's supposed to go to trial. And it's also after they start asking her questions about Ava. Now, how many of you want to bet money that she took that plea deal and didn't go to trial because she knows they're looking into Ava, and she's thinking if she just takes that plea deal, everything about Ava will go away and she won't have to worry about facing that charge? Because that's exactly what I think is going on. Entrapment queen 100%. Yes, you got to watch out for them fellas.
Boom, 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 bam.
You men out there, young men, y'all got to watch out for them entrapment queens. You really do. Where the hell were the other adults that knew these kids? Great question, Darzilla. You mean to tell me that there's 7 men out there that just hit it and quit it, and she had their children and they're not asking no questions? Like, unless they were not informed that they had gotten her pregnant, which I can't imagine that she's not getting child support from these men, because again, can we say entrapment queen, right? Just speculating. I cannot imagine that she's not getting child support for these children. Okay, she just don't. Judging the book by its cover here. I apologize for that in advance. I think these men knew that she had their children, because I don't think that she would have legally had the children and not gotten some kind of funding from the men. So they're not asking questions about how their children are doing, where their children are at, wanting to see their children, because I've been around a lot of men in my life and I've never met a man, not maybe once or twice, that didn't know where his child was, but it seemed like he wanted to know where the child was and the mother wouldn't let him, or, you could tell that they had children that were not in their custody, and they really wanted to see their children and they missed them. Like, I'm not believing that. It's hard to believe that these men just wanted nothing to do with their children. You know what I mean? She took a plea deal because she really thought the whole Ava questioning would go away. That's what I think. That's what I think. 100% car.
Boom, 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 bam.
Tom said, now it's prison wine made in a toilet and green bologna sandwiches for her. She's walking around looking all bougie with this expensive shit on. Yeah. I wonder if she targeted men who didn't give a fuck about their kids. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. She probably would.
Not only did Gonzales say no deal to that, her attorney called the offer, quote, utterly absurd. But then you have this week, and this story breaks about the search warrant in a capital murder investigation into Virginia Gonzales. And Gonzales's attorney told KXAN that he was actually.
I'm sorry, but why you they're not even perky. Like, why are you they're just hanging there, like damn near about to fall out, and they're like, do your boobs hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Because she can tie them in a knot. Like, it's not even pretty. Her makeup's beautiful, her hair, but that shirt, damn girl, the fuck.
Planning
Sorry.
to file a
Let me hush.
continuance and for a request for this trial to be held outside Travis County, Texas, because he looked at that story coming out, the one about the search warrant, to be something that would taint a jury pool. He went on to say, in reaction to that search warrant story related to Ava coming out, quote, by seeking this warrant at this time, they are effectively poisoning the jury pool by reintroducing these allegations into the news cycle just before the January 26th trial date. This creates an unfair bias and prejudice against my client, making it nearly impossible to select an impartial jury.
Her attorney was going to file a continuance and say, I want her trial held somewhere else other than Austin, Texas, because you've tainted the jury pool, because you came out here and you brought Ava up, and now she's not going to get a fair trial. And then she took a plea. Yeah, oh no, women in prison don't play when you hurt your babies. Don't nobody play that shit at all.
Protect my client's constitutional rights, we have no choice but to seek a continuance and a change of venue. But then, a couple days later, if that, Thursday night, the news breaks that Virginia Gonzales has taken a plea deal in the abuse case. She is pleading guilty to 2 counts of injury to a child, elderly, or disabled person with intent. She will spend 25 years in state prison. Now, her attorney released a statement to KXAN TV. And
now, 25 years. If she was originally offered a plea deal of 40, she would have done 20 years in prison. And I mean, yes, they are child abuse charges, but you've got to remember that this child is permanently brain damaged, and it was so bad that if they fed her, she could have went in a coma or possibly died just from eating. Yeah, no doubt. Homely fans. Lonely fans material. Yeah. Exactly. She probably, I wouldn't be surprised to learn there was one.
Response to this plea deal saying, quote, "My client is at peace with her decision. She has never claimed to be innocent. This case has always been about seeking justice and an appropriate punishment for her conduct. From the beginning, this matter has been handled differently than any similar case I have defended in the past 20 years. It is clear to me that there was an agenda involved beyond the pursuit of justice. Ultimately,
Yeah, we want to know where the fuck her child is that she homicided more than likely.
my client was willing to accept an excessive sentence because she did not want to force her child to testify." That is Gonzalez's attorney, Gabe Hernandez, in a statement to KXAN TV. Joining
That is an excessive sentence. 25 years for permanent brain damage when you've got a child that's missing is allegedly an excessive sentence? Really, asshole? The child is permanently brain damaged because she wanted to go party on a fucking boat.
us now from Texas to talk about this case and where it could go next is Anthony Asso, criminal defense attorney and former assistant district attorney. Thank you, as always, for being with us on Law and Crime. 25 years for Virginia Gonzales. You know, when you're talking about it's hard to say it in this term of like, is this a good deal? Because we are talking about a young girl who's going to have brain damage forever, and then Virginia Gonzales is going to prison, presumably for a long
She
time.
is nasty as hell.
But in terms of coming
Really.
into plea agreements with the evidence that it appears she was facing, what do you make of the decision to take the deal at 25?
I think it was probably a good deal for Miss Gonzales. I think that in the event that a jury sees pictures of a girl that's 29 pounds at 7 years old soaking wet, that's not going to go well. Really, to describe the alleged crime in this case, I think it's pure evil. And so she'll be.
Yeah, it is pure evil, leaving them children at home and making sure the ones that are not locked up have enough food, but just leaving them there by themselves, no education, just having babies and letting them sit in the apartment. And I can, again, almost guarantee you they were sitting in that apartment because they were looked at as paychecks. She made sure they have food, except for the one that was in the closet, and then left them at home by themselves to their own devices. I would be interested also to know if there were times or if ever Ava's parents, Ava's father and the other child that was in the closet, the 7-year-old's father, if they didn't pay child support or if she couldn't get child support for them. If it wasn't that they were just females, if their parents, if their dads didn't pay child support and if she was getting child support for the other ones. I can't imagine that she wasn't, but I could be wrong. Yeah, she needs to go straight to hell. This is a horrific crime and it is pure evil.
Eligible for parole in 12 and a half years because it's an aggravated offense under the laws in Texas. She's got to do half of her time prior to being parole eligible. Doesn't mean she'll get out, but she'll be eligible for parole. So I think it's a way to mitigate the amount of time that she could have ended up having had she gone to jury trial.
So in 12 years, she could be eligible for parole. So basically, they've got 12 years to cement the case with Ava, either by her brother's testimony, if they're going to charge her with that, or by finding little Ava's body. That could be anywhere by now because it's been so long that this child's been missing and not reported missing. How much time did Jake Harrow get for disabling his first child? He was put on probation. On pro-fucking-bation. And that was how he was able to hurt Emmanuel.
There was a report that she was offered a deal in this case. And again, we're just talking about the case of her daughter who was found in the closet.
Yeah, she ain't getting out.
Not the case of Ava Gonzales, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But in November, she reportedly turned down a plea deal for 40 years. What do you make of the decision to take 25? You know, certainly that's a lot less time that you're spending in prison, but I know that this story came out about Ava Marie Gonzales right around the time she accepted the deal. I guess what type of impact did that make, would you say, on the decision to accept this plea deal?
Well, I think one of the things that the people need to consider is that the defense attorney in this case has to turn around and then talk to Ms. Gonzales and get Ms. Gonzales on board with accepting that kind of deal. So when we talk about numbers, 5 years in prison is a long time to anybody. 10 years is a long time. 15 years. Going all the way up to 40 years is a really long time. So on a case like this, she has to do 20 years in prison prior to ever being eligible for parole. A life sentence, which is the maximum amount she could get if she went to trial and was convicted by a jury and sentenced to the max, would be 60 years, right? That's what a life sentence is in Texas. So essentially, she'd be eligible for parole at 30 years.
So she took a plea deal, I think, to make them not ask any more questions about Ava and to guarantee that she wasn't doing 30 years.
So in my eyes, I think
Because again, if you show a jury a photo of a 7-year-old that's 29 fucking pounds, it doesn't matter what the charge is, they're probably going to give her life. I don't think that they're going to let her out. I hope to God, I'm praying to God she gets charged with what she did to Ava. I know that's right.
that from a defendant's perspective, it's a 10-year difference. Do I gamble and try to get a lesser sentence at the risk of having to do 10 more years before I'm eligible for parole? And when you attack it from a probability standpoint, there's an element of logic involved in that.
When it comes to the evidence that was against her in the child abuse case, because just reading through the arrest warrant, I mean, it's so sad and it's so damning. And you have
It really
this
is.
girl who doctors are saying is never going to recover from brain damage. You have witnesses of the other children. I know in the attorney's statement for Virginia Gonzales, from their side, it was, well, she wanted to make sure that her daughter or her kids wouldn't testify against her. But if you're a prosecutor and you had her, from what it appears, dead to rights, to convict her of this to the highest sentence, like, why offer a plea deal in a case like this?
Well, I have to comment on the comment saying that Miss Gonzales didn't want to put her kids through trial.
Sure.
Clearly,
Yeah, I don't think that that's the case at all.
she wouldn't have cared if the offer was 40 years. She was willing to put them through trial at 40 years until the offer was sweet enough. So
And that's a great point. She didn't give a fuck about them having to testify or not when she was offered the 40-year plea deal, because she was going to take it to trial and make them have to testify. So the statement that she didn't want her children to testify, so she took a 25-year life or 25-year sentence, is complete and utter bullshit, as he just pointed out.
a little bit disingenuous, which I'm not surprised based on the allegations and behavior we've heard she's capable of. But I think from a prosecutor's perspective, they do have an interest in not putting a 14-year-old on the stand. Imagine.
So the prosecutor might have offered her a plea deal because they didn't want to put the 14-year-old on the stand, because, like he's more than likely about to say, imagine being a 14-year-old child having to testify against your mother, who has raised you your whole life to think that this is normal and loved you to an extent, and that's all you've known for 14 years, and you're having to testify against her to put her in prison. Yeah, that would be hard. I was wondering, maybe Virginia hates girls or daughters. Yep. She didn't need the opportunity to make a pretend baby, let alone a real one. I know that's right.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Found it interesting that her friend said she's been playing house, which means, being at home, being a mother. I don't think she ever was playing house.
What that 14-year-old boy has already gone through, having to witness his 7-year-old sister in the closet, feed her. I mean, it's horrible. And then couple that with what he's reported to have heard from the prior case in
I think she does.
2018 or the prior investigation. It's irreversible trauma. And so there is an element of wanting to protect the children, get finality in a sentence, and not have them go through the emotions that are involved in a full-blown jury trial.
Yep.
You have these two cases, and when police arrested her, they made this announcement that, hey, not only did we find this girl in the closet and she has terrible, terrible injuries, by the way, we think she actually has an 8th child, and that child hasn't been seen since 2017. And I remember watching that news conference, like my jaw drops, and you're like, how is this possible? But that story has been out there from the.
That's the same thing we asked about Jacqueline, Mimi Torres. How is this possible? How is it possible that you have a child that has not been reported missing? I think Jacqueline was reported missing, but it was like after she had already been dead. How the fuck does that happen? How the fuck does that happen? I look, now I try not to go there to some of the places that we've been with this case, but I'm here for it today. Fuck it. You know what I mean? This bitch. Mm-mm. I've got no. I'm. Yeah, I agree with everything y'all are saying. I try to keep it a little more kosher, but no, let it out today because this bitch deserves it.
The very beginning. And yet she hasn't been charged with the disappearance of that girl. And I know when this story came out, her attorney was saying that we should file a continuance. We can't go to trial in the child abuse case. This is muddying the waters of a jury pool. Had they moved forward, had he filed that, would there have been an argument that the jury pool would have been tainted because this other story was out there that she hasn't been charged with yet?
You know, Chris,
It is a valid argument that the jury pool could have been tainted because the story about Ava is out. I'm sorry, I don't know what he's about to say, but yes, it is a possibility that you would taint the jury pool by saying that she had a daughter that had been missing since 2017 that she had never reported missing, and we have this 7-year-old who weighs 29 pounds in a closet because she's been so severely malnourished. Because that's going to make the jury say that she's guilty automatically because of Ava being missing, and then it's going to look like she hurt Ava and Ava's dead and she was on the brink of killing another child. So of course they're going to think she's guilty and she's probably going to get a life sentence. Darzilla said, look at the case of baby Joe in Tennessee. A 5-year-old Joe Clyde Daniels disappeared April 8th, 2018 from the county I live in. Both parents in prison. Baby Joe has not been found. That is so sad. That is so sad. It's the same thing. Why is this happening? I don't understand it.
in Austin, I think that's less likely. I mean, Austin's a huge city. You've got people flooding in from all over the country. So the population is large enough that you could go through voir dire and sort of weed out the people that have read this story that have.
Unless they don't admit to it, though. I mean, I'm not trying to be on her side at all because fuck this bitch and the cock she rode in on. But to be fair, it could absolutely taint the jury pool by that getting out.
Knowledge of the facts. That's very different than if we're trying a case in Amarillo, Texas, right? Where your population's far less and your jury pool or your number of jurors that could potentially be on the jury is way less. So I don't know that there's a lot of teeth in that argument. But anytime, a defense attorney has to make the argument, and I think that in the end of the day, he wants to protect the record as well as his bar card.
Now, turning to Ava Gonzales, and
there are a lot of people that Indy said there are 31.7 million people living in Texas. They could have found jurors. And he said there is a large population in the Austin area, which I truly believe. My issue is that there could be at least one or two that get in there and say they don't know nothing about the case, and they absolutely do. But that's going to be with anywhere. He is absolutely correct with the statistically people in a bigger area, people in a bigger populated area like Austin, Texas, would be less likely to have heard about the case. Like that, you would be more likely to find jurors that had actually not heard about the case in that area because there is such a large population of people centered in that area. However, as opposed to Amarillo, where he was saying there's a lower population, and if that got out, then you would have less of a chance because there's not as many people in that concentrated area. However, my issue is people are going to lie and say they haven't heard about the case, and they're going to want to convict her for life because this is some fucked up shit. Amy, Pennsylvania said, I think the only two things she liked was attention she got being pregnant and the child support money. Again, yes.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Yep. But if the child had disability, she must have taken her to the doctor. I don't know. She said the child would urinate and defecate on the floor, but I think the grandmother had said that the child was completely fine when she was at her house, that she had no issues at all. She ate normal, she slept normal. There was nothing wrong in that area. It was just when the mother took her. So that would take me back to maybe she had some type of hostility about little girls.
it's just, I know we've seen stories before where social services, we talk about it often. They're overworked, understaffed, and we do see kids fall through the cracks. But the idea that this girl just vanished in 2017 when she was 2 and no one's seen her, heard of her ever since. And it's kind of just like anecdotes between people of, oh, I heard she was here or there. Like, it's unbelievable. And now you have this story that comes out where, according to the search warrant that KXAN TV has, that the 14-year-old son of Virginia Gonzales tells this story that appears to be the only eyewitness to what happened in a motel, he says, where it sounds like from that Virginia Gonzales allegedly killed Ava Marie Gonzales. And we'll see if she's ends up being charged with that. But beyond the boy's word, what more would you need to charge and then try Virginia Gonzales on murder, especially if you don't have a body?
Well, it's really case dependent, Chris, because I think the general assumption is no body, no case, and that's not true. There are murders that are filed where you don't have a body, because in reality, or the reality is in certain situations, bodies disappear. So
this is talking about if she could be charged with Ava's homicide. We're going to watch this section, and then I'm probably going to go because we've been going about 3 hours. Content, I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I'm glad you're back. All right, Tom, have a good night, sweetheart.
it really boils down a lot to witness testimony as well as scientific evidence surrounding the area of purported crime scenes, right? So in this instance, I think what we're finding out is that Ms. Gonzales made statements in her April interview in 2025 that had to do with the location of her daughter, Ava Gonzales. And I think since there are suspicions now that she's responsible for her disappearance, they have now sought witnesses out that she talked about who are making contradictory statements to what Ms. Gonzales is saying.
So basically, she said that Ava was with her father in Mexico to one person. To another person, she said that Ava belonged to her sister and was a crack baby. To another person, she says she might have been with her grandmother. And the 14-year-old knows what happened in the hotel room when she was fighting in the bathtub. Yeah, I hope you have sweet dreams, Tom.
Now she's being caught in potential lies. The child is not where she said the child was. And I think that that could be used in addition to what the 14-year-old boy said to sort of bootstrap a case together for a capital murder.
When it comes to proving someone's guilty of that beyond a reasonable doubt, and we don't know, we know that detectives right now, it appears they're trying to gather evidence to build this case. But I mean, can you get a conviction off, you have people who are saying, well, I heard it was someone else's child. I heard the baby, went to Mexico. I heard the baby, was living with an aunt and uncle in San Antonio. To have those statements, and then at the same time to have this boy telling this terrible, terrible story. Right. Is that enough? Do you need the science, to say like maybe her at the motel or, some DNA evidence to prove that she actually murdered somebody? Can you get a conviction without that?
No, Chris, you don't need the science. It's something we've voir dire on. I've voir dired on when I was a prosecutor. And I've got to deal with as a defense attorney is that witness testimony alone is enough to get a conviction. And so a good prosecutor is going to ask that question and weed out and strike for cause jurors that are going to require them to bring science, DNA, and things like that into a case. Because at the end of the day, a witness's testimony, if credible, can be enough for a conviction. So
I'm gonna go ahead and close out of this right now. So what he's saying is that with a good prosecutor, when they question the jury for this trial, if they do go after her for the capital murder charge, that they'll question juries and say, like, the question on the questions when you're answering it for jury duty might say something like, do you require evidence? Do you require blood, DNA, photographs in order to convict somebody of homicide? Or do you think you could convict a case if a witness testified as to what they saw and it was compelling enough for you to believe that a homicide was committed? They might ask questions like that. And people who answer like, no, I would still need to see photo evidence or DNA evidence of how the crime happened, where it happened, and all that, they would X them out of the jury pool and take the people that are like, I would believe a witness testimony as opposed to photos, DNA evidence, and things like that, I think. Hey, brown-eyed butterfly. Okay, Tammy, have a good day. Hubby making noise. Yeah, my husband's been making noise too. All right, y'all. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today so very much as we talked about this case. I will get the documents up on my Patreon. Hio has them out on her Patreon already. If you guys want to get them there. Indy, thank you so much for the $4.99. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Thank you so much, Cindy from sunny South Florida, for the 5 speculation station memberships. That was really sweet and supportive of you. Lori Ann, thank you for being a member for 5 months. That is super sweet and supportive of you. And thank you for the continued support. Amy from Pennsylvania has been a member for 9 months. And thank you for the continued support. That's super sweet and supportive of you. And I really appreciate it. And thank you, Darzilla, for the $10. I really, really appreciate that. That was super sweet and supportive of you. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate each and every one of you that are here. I'm going to give everybody an amazing. Because you are all so very amazing. And I really appreciate you guys. Yes, Nightbot, go to bed now. I've got to go actually make sure I put potato soup in the crock pot. My potatoes were not done. So I had to turn it on high. So I got to go check and see if they're done. Yeah. Just not able to see them right in chat. Well, thank you for being here, Kalisa. I really appreciate that so very much. You guys are amazing. We will have the drawing for members to see who wins first, second, and third place tomorrow. And then I will post pictures and get with you guys about sending the stuff to you and what exactly you won in like a week or two. Until tomorrow, I hope you guys have a good night. Stay safe out there. I know there's a cold front coming through. So if you can stay at home, stay at home. Try to be prepared. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, bye.